hang on. No, it's because I've just done a Windows update and it's
Oh, it's defaulted.
Yeah, that messed with my Chiffon OPG.
yeah. I think it's all right now. I think everybody can hear you. Just let me.
Yeah, that messed with my.
Yeah. It's working now. we
Don't worry.
well, let's update that, and let's do that, and let's. It's quite exciting actually because I actually get to stream for once in the Dungeons and Dragons section because there isn't a Starfinder.
Oh,
No, there isn't a Starfinder.
Pathfinder, isn't it?
Yeah, so
maybe you should make one.
No, because then there'll just be me in it. There'll just be us, and I'm hoping some
unique.
Start a trend.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that some people might see us playing. Can I just say, I think I've done really well with the background of your.
Impressed. I said I was impressed.
Do you like it, Mr. Pickles?
The background of the map on Roll20?
Yeah, and the background of your characters.
I was actually a little sad when I came on here, and I was like, oh, they got starry backgrounds, and I just had a token that didn't have one.
Yeah, because Chuggerwugger thought they were transparent.
Yeah, I thought you'd actually cut them out and put them on.
No,
Mind
no,
you,
it's
my
really
eyesight's not very good.
But they're not actually. If you move them down to there, so you can suddenly see. But
what it means is when you put it onto a normal floor plan, they're going to look really pants.
sorry.
Nice.
Floor plan.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not one of these.
No. We decided we were playing this on Wednesday.
It's the theatre of the mind.
It's theatre. I was getting really worried when Medivac was saying, so how far can I move in combat? Combat?
What's on your T-shirt, by the way? A Union Jack?
Yeah, because of the royal wedding.
Oh, right.
Oh. Go Harry Andy woman. I don't know who it is.
Suits. She's lovely.
Who is it?
She's a lady from Suits.
She's she's an actress.
Is she an actress? Oh, right.
She's like Grace Kelly, only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, I want to talk to you. Not Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly.
As in
The
Mika.
one that died. Yeah.
Mika, I want to talk to you.
That's right.
The last time we talked, you reduced you reduced me to tears. I love that. Could it be? Right. Anyway. Oh yes. What are we doing? Yes, we're going to try to play Starfinder now.
It's a tangent.
It's a beautiful tangent.
Now, before we start, I just have to give some warnings. So I read the rules this morning. Just a quick flick through. So I think I know what I'm doing, but just to let you know, I'll be making the majority of situations up because that's what I normally do. And then if we ever come back to this game, then I'll reread the rules to sort of like clarify things. So if in doubt, we're going with what I assume that we're doing, and so we'll just go with it, and then that's it to sort of like keep the game rolling. I'm much more interested in creating the atmosphere Starfinder rather than a specific rule set. So that's going to be the plan. I've made this wonderful new overlay, which I really like. The red. What do you think? Can anybody see it? I think
on your stream.
Yeah.
I know, I'm not in it. Let me go into it.
I've done a nice red border with a bit of yellow on it.
Oh, it's very sexy.
Yeah, and I know it. And that's the other one.
260 for my red.
And hopefully everybody's in the right positions there. And the star mapper change once we get into different areas, so it'll become more. Yeah, Emperor in Wills. Yeah, I am. Oh, we should have played Star Wars. That would have been absolutely fantastic.
Star Wars, the most random thing for chucking grenades.
So
have you played the intro yet? Have I missed the intro?
You missed the intro. The intro was me coming on and saying hello. Now I have made up the adventure, and it's not.
Well, we were discussing whether or not it was one you had made up, or whether or not it was a pre-made.
It's a pre-made. Because I always like using pre-made to start off with, because it gives you an idea about how to play the game. Because it's, when you first did Mythras, you went onto that island, and a lot of that was saying to me, make an endurance roll for this is a potency. So I think it actually gets you.
Was that pre-made?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise.
Anything on the island was pre-made. All that island. Yeah, you just thought I was a good DM.
Yeah. Well, you know how good we are at pre-mades.
Yeah, well, yes. So you did really well on that one. Did you see Fantasy Grounds has taken Traveller? I just thought that was really interesting. Mongoose version of Traveller.
Oh, right.
Which I don't know whether or not that... Is that the version that you actually play, Mr.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mongoose, I think, first edition. Second.
Well, it seems a really unusual system to pick up, but I suppose they've already got Starfinder in, and they've got Rollmaster, but not RuneQuest or Mythras. And they have Shadowrun 4, but not Shadowrun 5, although they do say that they're working towards it. So
why does, if you go into certain Starfinder sites now, it comes up about Spelljammer rather than Starfinder?
I know. I think it's just like a mixture. And people are like cross-posting. So when I post on Mythras, people cross-post it onto RuneQuest as well, even though they're two different publishing companies. Spelljammer is D&D though, but it's only advanced D&D.
Is it?
It's first or second AD&D. Yeah,
that's what we used to play, wasn't it?
We used to play first edition AD&D. Yeah. Rather than anything else. Okay, so tonight we're going to embark on a bit of a Starfinder. We're going to make up I'm going to make up the rules as we go. It's going to be a one-shot. The adventure is not huge, so we'll easily should fit it in the time allowed. So it should be absolutely fine. And I just want to start off, like we always start off these streams, by giving the players an opportunity to introduce themselves and who they are playing. But guys, what I would like you to do is just tell people your race and your class. That's all. Your name, race, and class. Okay, I don't need theme. I don't need any other background information or anything like that, because there's an opportunity at the beginning of the adventure to introduce yourselves and get to know each other. Okay, so we'll start off with Chuggerwugger, who's down underneath the glass. So off you go, Chuggerwugger. Who are you, and who will you be playing tonight, Matthew?
I am Chuggerwugger, and the character I'm playing tonight is a Yuzoki Technomancer by the name of Dave.
With an I. Excellent. Okay.
And I should pass on to Mr. Pickles.
Yeah.
I am Mr. Pickles. I am playing an android envoy.
Yeah, that's right. An android envoy.
And the microphone goes to BuddyBot. I am BuddyBot.
BuddyBot. Excellent.
With that, I'll throw the microphone to Medivac.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Medivac, and I'm playing a Kisathus soldier, and his name is Zetharius.
Okay, excellent. So what I'm going to do in order to sort of like get you into the world of Starfinder. I'm going to do a bit of talking. I'm just going to, just so anybody knows, I'm not actually making this next bit up myself. I've just taken little extracts from the Starfinder's core rules to give you an idea of where you are in the universe, what you're doing, etc., etc. The other thing that's really important, there are Mr. Pickles' box is blurry. I think it's his camera. It's not my box. He probably needs to refocus his camera.
Either that or you're just looking out of your funny eye. Oh, that's
Is that better?
No, that's actually
Feels worse.
Yeah, once you get close, once you put something over the camera,
yeah,
then...
put your hand over the lens and then it should refocus on your head.
I don't think it's that good of a camera.
Oh. Go with that. Leave it like that. I think that's the best we're going to get.
Okay, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. Yeah, it's not the box. I think it's the same on Zoom as well. Is it the same on Zoom?
No, well, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you some background information. What I'm talking about will have reference to the event tonight, so feel free to make notes if and when you wish. Okay, so here we go. Here's your introduction to the world of Starfinder. So history is broken in Starfinder. No matter where you go, from the myriad of mortal worlds floating in space to the strange realms of the gods, you'll find the same thing. Historical records go back a few centuries and then suddenly go blank or contradictory, shifting randomly between readings and becoming reliable again only when referring to the dim and misty ages of the ancient past. What's more, this whole torn in history isn't restricted to blurred photographs and garbled almanacs. Modern history begins with the account of worlds across the multiverse erupting in riots and panic as those living through this transition found their memories suddenly blank or, at best, unreliable. While these people retained all the knowledge, skills and interpersonal connections from their lives, specific memories became difficult or, in many cases, completely impossible to retrieve. A woman might have instinctively known a million tiny details about her spouse, but had no concept of how they had met or how long they had even been married. Nations forgot why they were at war. Angels lost track of the sinners' indiscretions. Everything in motion remained in motion, but without context or reason. Some cultures collapsed in fire and famine, but most societies, faced with no other choice, simply gritted their teeth and carried on, either attempting to piece together their traditions from unreliable shreds of the past, or else using their amnesia as a chance to reinvent themselves, unshackled from whatever they might have been before. Those races that reproduce faster had the advantage. A child born into the world without recent history accepted the fresh start as natural. New historical records and memories held firm, and that was all that mattered. Gradually, order re-established itself. Today, roughly 3 centuries after the obscure period now referred to as the Gap, most societies view the historical cataclysm with little interest, save for the cryptoarchaeologists, salvagers and scientists who attempt to unearth and reverse engineer wondrous artifacts from the lost age. For everyone else, the focus is on creating new history, moving ever onward and, in this case, upwards. Okay, so that should give you an idea. The Gap happened 3 centuries ago. It's a huge gap in the history of Starfinder. Nobody knows why it happened, what happened there. Nobody knows if they can ever go back or find information. It's literally a huge gap, and time, star dates are now set from that point, and they get the suffix of AG, I think it is, after the gap. Okay, so they sort of like reset time at that and then move forward. Okay, so let's that should give you some indication of the era and what's happened. And you are going to be starting off in this solar system here, and these are the Pact Worlds. Okay, this is the Pact World system. So this is the beginning. This is where you'll actually be starting off your adventure. And in order to give you a little bit of background about this, I'm going to talk about the sad demise of a planet. The solar system today, called the Pact Worlds, has been inhabited for millennia, stretching back tens of thousands of years, even before the gap. While all the planets in the system could make an argument for their own significance, most outside observers agree the system's most important planet was the third planet from the Sun, called Golarion. Now, you will notice that that is no longer there. Okay. The presumed birthplace of humans, dwarves, halflings, and numerous other races still found in the system, Golarion was most notable not for its vast civilizations, but its theological significance. In addition to caging a dark god of destruction in its core, Golarion was also home to a magical object called the Star Stone, which allowed mortals to ascend into godhood. Quite a powerful thing. At some point during the gap, however, the world, or should I say the planet, vanished. High priests and divine servants petitioned their gods for answers, and all received the same information. Golarion still exists, as do the descendants of those people on it when it vanished, safe in a seclusion unreachable by magic or science. Beyond that, gods and demons all maintain the same firm policy that no further information will be forthcoming, if indeed they even know it. This existence of Absalon Station in Golarion's former orbit raises some even more questions. Was it built as a lifeboat? Was it simply Golarion made into a space platform, or just left behind and had its appearance altered? Or was Golarion itself, Absalon Station, itself somehow responsible for the planet's disappearance? Regardless, the mystery of Golarion leads many both within and without the Pact Worlds to still refer to the solar system as the Golarion system. So you should be able to see now on the screen the whole of the planet, so you can see where Absalon Station is. And that is where we're going to be starting the adventure tonight, actually on Absalon Station. And you're going to start it off in a space bar. Okay, and there's various places on Absalon Station that I'm going to be talking about, but basically you're in a place called the Drifter's End. And Drifter's End has a whole load of rowdy space bars where spacers come to chill out and exchange stories and talk of heroic deeds. There's some techno music playing in the background, and you three have come together, most unusual, because you have been summoned here, because you are part of a society called the Starfinder Society, which I'm going to be telling you about in a second or later on. However, you've all been summoned here, and you have tomorrow morning a meeting with your boss, for want of a better word, who's going to be giving you a new assignment. And you've congregated together, you're sat round a circular table on metal stools, and yours, Dave, yours lowers itself down for you to get on and then elevates it back up. It's a bit like on a bit of a spring, and you have arrived at it, at the bar, and you are sort of like enjoying settling down. And this is the opportunity for you to introduce yourselves and say who you are. And I'll leave it like that.
So, those of you who are unfamiliar with the races of Starfinder, Dave is a Zoki, which is basically a large humanoid rodent, about 4 foot tall, that walks on his hind legs. So just think of him as a big rat, basically. So he's there, sat on his chair, and you've heard the Yozoki speak before, and they're normally sort of like squeaky voice, very very rodentist, but he's there and he looks at you each in the eye and he goes, "Right there, name's Dave." And you've never heard a Yozoki sound like that. It's just, normally it's, "Oh, hello," like that, but he's just like, "Hello, name's Dave." So, who am I sat with?
I'm playing an android, of course, named BuddyBot for long, but for short. Anybody who knows him as Buddy. He speaks in a very modulated way. He's very expressive and friendly towards everybody, kind of going around introducing himself. "I am BuddyBot. Can I do something to help you?" He seems to have been lost probably for a while. Just kind of trying to find friends, and I presume that's when being summoned with you guys. He's stationed with you guys and scanning the room, being an expressive android and making strange faces at the music.
And I am Zetharius. I am a 4-armed, grey-skinned Caesarian. Basically, my homeworld was destroyed, and I'm now here on this space station years later, after following my father's footsteps and his traditions, and keeping them alive, and also adding to them, because tradition is the way forward, as we all know. Now, Casathians are aloof. We don't mean to be. We hold ourselves, in high regard, because we do protect our histories, and we'd like to make new histories for future generations to look back on, because it's all about learning from your past. And I am here to help people and to learn more things. That is who I am.
There's something else that is very special about your character, though, isn't it? Your race.
What, the 4 arms?
Yes.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they. What's your character called? So I don't have my.
Zetharius.
Zetharius. The race actually has 4 arms and 2 legs. So they're quite handy to have all around. So I just pop that in there. I've got a list. Oh, he'll never be armless, won't he? You add them up.
Keep him at arm's length.
Yes, I can count to 20.
Okay then, so let me tell you a little bit about Absalon Station before you get to chatting to each other. So floating in the former orbit occupied by Galarian, Absalon Station is the primary home of humanity in the solar system and the undisputed centre of both interstellar trade and governance among the Pact Worlds. From here, the Pact Council and its legion of delegates from all recognised worlds control the fragile alliance, keeping harmony in the system, while also regulating property claims on newly discovered worlds. Here as well are the headquarters of the interplanetary law enforcement officers called stewards. Okay, Abadar Corps heads office, at least on the material plane. They are religious order, similar to clerics, etc. And the archives of the galaxy exploring Starfinders, which is the society that you're part of. Yet the most important feature of the space station is not its grand or mysterious architecture, nor its myriad of residents, but the strange artifact locked deep within the station's heavily guarded core, the fabled Star Stone. Now, for reasons known only to priests of Tyruni, the Star Stone not only powers the station, but also acts as an immensely powerful hyperspace beacon, allowing ships to jump quickly into space around it, no matter the distance, and making Absalon Station a naturally relay point for voyages returning from the solar system. Now, I've got a picture of Absalon Station that I'm just going to move you onto so you can see what it looks like.
Ooh.
Very flash.
And I'll just give you a brief description. So, no one knows who built the vast space platform or when it entered Golarian's orbit, though the name harkens back to the world's pre-gap history. Artificial gravity creates a constant down in most of the station's area, radial arms and soaring towers. And aside from the individual neighbourhoods retrofitted to accommodate the environmental needs of resident aliens, most of the station seems designed to cater for human comfort. Otherwise, neighbouring districts often have shockingly different cultures and living conditions, from Spark's hand-scribble engineering bays and the flood tank warrens of Puddles to the rowdy spacer bars of Drifter's End and the elegant self-contained corporate enclaves of the Blue Rinse Tower. As a general rule, money and power flow inward from the numerous bustling docks towards the great park-like dome known as the Eye, while the downtrodden masses sink down into the machine-cramped access warrens of the Spike. Gangs rule the lower-class neighbourhoods, such as Bot Scrap, Downlow, and Pipe Town. Yet their tentative alliances filter all the way into the upper reaches of government via the station's Syndicates Guild, the legislative body that gives each neighbourhood a voice in station policy and elects the station's ruling prime executive, Primex. In addition to the platform itself, Absalon Station is surrounded by a constantly changing swarm of undocked ships, both transient and resident. These latter are somewhat mockingly called the Armada, yet most are not military. The station has only a modest security fleet, depending instead on the stewards and robust station-mounted defences for its safety. Rather, the Armada is comprised of those starships whose owners seek to benefit living near Absalon Station while remaining unbound by all the most basic station laws. Absalon Station generally permissive government allows this, since the volume of trade pouring through its corridor means even the lowest taxes suffice to keep the station flush. Okay, and I will hand over to you as you introduce yourselves on Absalon Station. Just to let you know, the bar that you're in is actually called Starfall.
You have a beautiful voice, Dave.
Yeah, thanks. So, you an idea what the job is then?
I was going to ask you guys. Is that Thurius?
I was going to say I was just told to come here. It was just a small trip here, which is fine. So we shall wait and find out. We shall learn from it.
Yeah. It's probably involving magic, because otherwise the society wouldn't have really requested that I turn up.
Magic?
Yeah. You know, magic.
Error. I do not.
Dave, don't you understand magic? It's a fundamental thing of the universe now.
Yeah. Maybe your memory's just a bit. Yeah.
It is possible I am outdated.
Well, you need to get one of those upgrades.
It will be nice to have a job again. Fresh work. New people to help.
I could probably have a quick look if you, I don't know, pop a hatch. I think I've got a screwdriver somewhere, and David sort of like start rummaging in his pouches at his belt and start taking out various instruments that are obviously something to do with both mechanical, electronical, and computers.
You seem trustworthy. As Buddy saunters over to closer so you can inspect whatever hatch I might have.
Where is your hatch? How do you access your internal?
All I know is that I had a voice modulator installed, so I know that there would be some sort of access around the throat or spine.
Okay then, so throat or spine would be suitable, I think. Should be good.
So, Dave will sort of like look, and then look at his equipment, and they go, "Oh, it's got one of those stupid screwdriver heads on. Do you know the ones that look like a starfish? That it's really hard to get the screwdrivers for."
I am unfamiliar.
You probably have something that is in your toolkit. Are you carrying a toolkit of some description with you, Dave?
He has both, and he has an engineering toolkit, and he also has a hacking toolkit. But he has had a look, and there is nothing in his toolkit that would allow him to access Buddy's hatch.
All right then. Okay.
To be perfectly honest, buddy, magic is purely the bashing of molecules and atoms together, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Oh, thank you. That really makes me feel better, Zetharius.
Pleasure.
So, yeah. So if there's magic involved, that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
2 reasons to not feel afraid.
I'm not a mystic, though. I'm a technomancer.
What is a technomancer?
Well, I know how things work, and I know how they're connected. So I know how magic and technology work together. And it allows me to do stuff with technology using my magic, and to do stuff with magic using my technology. It's all pretty complicated.
You notice that a waitress approaches your table and brings what appears to be 3 bottles of something. It seems to be the local beverage here in Starfall. As she approaches, you do all recognise that she's probably an android of some description, and you also notice. Can you just make perception rolls for me, please?
Yes, I think I can find it on the sheet.
So just to let you know, guys, as you roll, so every time you roll a skill, it has a difficulty class. So I'm putting the difficulty class to it. So say, for example, the difficulty class was 10, then Zath, you will have failed, but Dave and Buddy, you would have succeeded, so forth and so on. So yeah, so Dave and Buddy, you notice that she is an android, and she sort of like comes over and she puts the beers on the table, and sort of like says, "Compliments of the person who's sat over there. He says he hopes you enjoy his drinks." And she holds out what appears to be a small data pad, and you take out your credit cards and sort of like click it onto it, and it automatically deducts it directly from your bank balance. And she turns around to you and says, "What? No tip?"
Well,
Gee,
clearly not compliments, are they? Really, if we have to pay for
Gee,
that.
how nice. And she sort of like scoots off.
What a stunning young lady.
I thought you androids were like genderless.
No, they're fully functional.
I do not know if I'm fully functional, but
Lift your
she
flap.
had a very pretty
Sorry.
voice.
No!
We're not checking inside Buddy's hatch.
No. What has been seen cannot be unseen.
Do androids drink beverage?
They're actually set up to mimic human functions. So what they actually do, they can drink it, and it goes down into like a container, and like an area within their bodies, and then it actually diffuses through into vapor or decomposes, and then if it's food matter, you actually open a little hatch, and there's a little dried solid thing that you can dispose of. Yeah, like those hoovers, those vacuum cleaners, things like that. And if not, if it's water or alcohol, it just evaporates within your body, and it's used to function your cooling system if and when needed.
So did the android say these were free? Compliments of something?
Yeah, we paid for them apparently.
Yeah, no, she said compliments of the man over there. That's what she said, and then charge you for it.
So looking round, who's sat in the direction that it said?
Yeah, there's a guy who sort of like sat by himself, right the way over in the corner. He sat in one of those corner booths, so there's just sort of like the seating in the corner, and there's a round table in front, and he's just sat there, and you notice that he's got both feet up on the table and they're crossed. He seems to be wearing a somewhat old-fashioned, almost like cowboy hat. From the Western era, and as you sort of like look over to him, he sort of like touches his cap and just nods his head to you.
Dave will sort of like raise the glass of whatever he sent across and sort of like just neck it. He'll just down it in one.
Yeah. You figure that whatever it is, Dave, this is probably watered down. Buddy, are you drinking it?
Yeah, Buddy takes a sip and then says, synthetic.
Yes, most definitely. Your body automatically analyzes it. It's probably approximately 0.0001% alcohol.
Dave will say, do you want that?
I like beverage.
Right. Okay then.
But it seems that we have somebody who wants to be our friend. Should we go over?
I think it would
Well, if we wait here, he might get us another drink.
cunning plan, Dave, but I personally don't think it would be wise. Not even wise. Impolite. Should we go over and have a chat with the gentleman?
Indeed, new friends are worth more than one more beer.
Well, they're also good to learn things from as well.
Buddy's going to stand up abruptly and begin to walk over.
Yeah. And there's sort of like there's room for you all to sort of like sit at the booth with this guy, and as you approach, he sort of like takes his feet off the table and puts them down and just sort of like sits up and almost like straightens himself up slightly.
Did anybody else come with me?
Yeah, I'm going to pass my
undried. It takes Dave a time to find the button to lower his chair, but once he finds it, he, because it's one of those ones that you pull it and rather than going back down, it actually goes up a bit more, and then it judders up and down as you're trying to get down, but he eventually gets it down, and he'll go over as well, and he'll get himself into the booth.
Yeah, so as you approach the guy who sat there, sort of like looks at you and says, "All right."
Yeah.
Hello, drink buyer. How are you?
Hello, friend.
He says, "Drink buyer. I haven't bought you anything. I think you bought them yourself, didn't you? I just told her to give you some drinks."
That was rather charming of you. Thank you.
Well, you didn't have any on your table, see? Which I thought was mighty strange.
Yeah.
Strange, indeed. Why did you have concern for us?
Buddy sort of like looks at you, and as you're talking to him, you notice that he's just sort of like looking round you. Looking at, almost like trying to find something, and he sort of like turns to Dave and Zath and says, "Is he an android?"
No. He's just very, very malnourished.
Yeah.
He looks very metallic.
Yeah. Well, they can look like that, or they can look just like us. But
Can I just say, Dave, I have to say this, but I know it's not sort of like PC like, but I just need to sort of like mention this now since you're here, that I've always found Yasuki sort of like cute, if you know what I mean. Reminds me of a pet I used to have before we blasted it out of the airlock on the Hunter. But yeah, I always think you guys look quite cute.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't try to pet me.
Oh, no. Learnt my lesson about that. Got me finger actually bitten off, as you can see.
Yeah. Well, I don't bite. I use that, and he'll point to a laser rifle that's strapped to his back.
Oh, yeah. He says, yeah, I see what you mean. He says, I tend to use this. And he brings out what appears to be a rather large, broad knife, a bit like a Bowie hunting knife. It looks incredibly sharp. And just make perception rolls for me. Yeah, Buddy.
My perception rolls.
Buddy, you automatically notice that it seems to have some kind of thin wire round the edge. And you roll either a science skill if you're trained in anything. You need to be trained in certain skills. If it's got like a cross by it, you need to be trained in it to actually.
I did notice there's a column for trained, and there's a column that says CS, and I'm not.
So no. CS are your class skills, and you get a bonus for using a class skill. And if you're trained in it, i.e., you've put 1 rank in it, then you tick that trained line. So if you are actually doing a skill, a class skill that is actually trained in, then you get you roll a 1d6 plus your skill rank, add 3, then your ability score modifiers. If it's a trained skill, i.e. not a class skill, then you just do 1d20 plus your ranks plus your ability score. Now, if they're not trained at all, then it's just you don't do your skill rank in it. But there are some skills that can't default on. So on your character sheet, if you have a look at your character sheet, there will be some skills that have like physical science and mysticism, medicine, life science, culture, computers. Can you see they've got that little cross by it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that means you can only use those if you are trained in them. So if you haven't trained in them, i.e. you put a rank in them, you cannot roll them. So it's not as if you get any minuses. So basically, it's if you take the computers, it's basically saying, unless you've trained in computers, you don't know the first thing about them.
That makes sense.
Okay then. So what it prevents somebody with a high ability score being able to do all those skills and not actually putting any training in them. So do you have are you actually trained in anything like engineering or physics, physical science, or anything like that?
I just put in my trained ticks here. It looks like the closest I have is computers, and I don't think that applies.
Let's just see.
Because I have engineering as a class skill for some reason. I don't think that.
You have engineering as a class skill, but you haven't actually put anything in it, so you haven't trained in it. Okay then. So roll a computer for me, and I'll just increase the difficulty for you. Okay. So we're looking at 15 or above now for your skill roll. Oh, nice!
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Buddy magic.
Some buddy magic. You figure that this is some kind of hot wire that's probably attached to some kind of battery in the hilt of the knife. So when it's activated, it's probably not just the blade that is cutting through. It's probably white hot wire as well. So he says, he sort of like slides his knife away. He says, so what you guys doing here then?
We're just having a friendly get together, having a chat.
Oh right. He says, are you guys members of the Starfinder Society? You are.
Yeah.
But it's up to you how you answer. I just wanted to make sure that you realise that you are a member.
Yep. So who might be asking?
Me.
And what's
That's
your
what
name?
I just said. Are you a member of the Starfinder Society?
Who are you, though?
My name, Bert. He looks like a human.
Hi, Bert.
Good to meet you, Bert.
I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you guys. So, are you members of the Starfinder Society?
Well, I am. I've got the compass and everything.
Oh, cool. I'm looking.
Pretty handshake.
I'm looking, Dave. Sorry, he doesn't know. Did you introduce yourself, Dave, or not?
I did, yeah. When he said he's Bert, he said I'm Dave.
He sort of like looks at you and says, Dave, I'm sort of like, I'm interested in joining, but I realise that you need to have like a sponsor. You know, I just wondered, whether or not you would be interested in you sponsoring me.
Well, you didn't pay for the drinks, did you?
Oh, No, because
but now you want something in return.
well, I just thought it might be, you guys being nice and having that nice metal Mickey with you as well. Oh, sorry, Buddy, Android. You're not allowed to call them metal Mickeys, aren't you? Sorry, mate. That's not very PC of me. What do you like to be? What do you like to be called?
My name is Buddy.
Okay then, Buddy. Yeah, I'll call you Buddy. Anyway, well, do you mind sort of like putting in a good word for me? I could use a knife.
Well, I'd like to think that we'll see what we can do.
Is that Locke? I'm sure that was Locke's voice.
It's more like that.
I'm sure there was an Irish twang.
No, there was. Oh, to be sure.
You could maybe make it worth our while, but have you got any?
Well, I'm not too sure what you mean, Dave.
I think what Dave's getting at is that there may be an entrance fee.
No, there's not an entrance fee. You just have to have a sponsor.
No, I was trying to bribe him. Really, I just thought maybe
Rather.
time.
Well, you want me to pay you to be my sponsor?
Well,
I believe that he would like you to get some of the alcohol that was suggested.
Well, I don't know whether or not that's allowed. Like,
you scratch my rump.
I think that's rather frowned upon, because I tried it and I was told it wasn't the done thing. Well, look. Let me leave you my number, and he hands over a little card, and maybe while you're here on Absalon Station, maybe you can put in a good word for me. My name's Bert.
You're not from Casterville, are you?
No. I'm from here.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you can put in a good word for me. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Well, he says it's been nice meeting you all, and I look forward to sort of like meeting you again, maybe sometime in the future. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
Seth will hold out his 4 hands and see which one he tries to shake.
He just sort of like looks at them and says, "Oh, I'll pass, thank you," and sort of like heads off. And you settle down for the rest of the evening, drinking and eating and exchanging friendly discussions. While you're doing that, let me just bring you up to date with a bit of the Starfinder Society that you're all members of. So the quest for knowledge and the desire to explore and unravel the mysteries of the universe are all hallmarks of any great operation. For the members of the Starfinder Society, this curiosity is more than just a drive. It is a lifestyle. Based out on the Law Spire complex on Absalon Station, the Starfinder Society is a loose association of scholars and adventurers who travel the galaxy seeking to advance the cause of knowledge. Founded shortly after the end of the Gap, the inspired but incomplete tales of a similar pre-Gap organisation called the Pathfinder Society, the Starfinders initially set out to map the temporal edges of the Gap and piece together its hidden history of what transpired and what transpired during it, to locate Lost Golarion and to use the spreading network of drift beacons to explore and chart new worlds. So drift space is how spaceships travel from one area of the solar system to another. Generally, you have a drift drive which actually transports the ship into drift space. You travel along and then you come out. Unfortunately, drift space is not the most pleasant area. This is where demons, dragons, hideous creatures actually exist. So a lot of spaceships have actually been attacked by demons, etc., in the drift space, and so it's not something that people do a lot of, if at all they can help it, or they stick to well-charted areas. So today the Starfinders include scholars of all sorts, from biologists to computer scientists to archaeologists and military historians, distinguished from corporate research groups by a unifying tenet that increased dissemination of information can foster growth, development, and ultimately peace. Although both the organisation and the individual Starfinders make excellent money selling star charts, survey data of new worlds, and even alien artifacts, once they are properly studied, of course, Starfinders are driven primarily by the desire to publish their findings for the common good and personal prestige. The best of these revolutionary discoveries are released in a regular public broadcast called the Starfinder Chronicles. The manner in which these discoveries are made are left largely up to individual members, though the administration frowns on outright theft, wars of aggression, and especially the exploitation of previously uncontacted cultures. So that gives you some idea of the member of the society that you're a member of. Do you have any questions or anything you would like to ask before we move on?
No, but Dave he's going to sort of like got this card with this person's number, and he's just sort of like flipping it. It's Bert's number, and he's just sort of like flipping it in. It's flipping it around in his hand, and then he just opens his mouth and puts it in.
Okay.
How will we contact Bert for his star finding?
Well, we'll ring him. We'll contact his comm.
So have you swallowed it?
No, he's just put it into his pouch.
Oh yes, yeah, got you. Yeah. So just for people on the stream, Yosukis have cheek pouches, I think they are.
Yeah, which they can store 1 cubic foot of material.
Yeah. The only bad thing about it is that sometimes it can come out rather moist.
Yeah.
You know, depending whether or not the...
I was assuming it was maybe something like a plastic.
Oh, this one, yeah. I'm not saying the card would be damaged or whatever. I'm just saying generally, if it's been in there, it comes out quite moist at times. Okay, anybody else wishes to do anything? So, Buddy, just so you know, you probably can scan your information about your Sukis and suddenly think, that's what he's done.
Yeah, okay. After scanning any networks that I have available to my mind brain or anything, I'll come to that conclusion, not bother him about contact information getting destroyed.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Anybody else like to do anything before we move on the next day's meet for the job?
No, Dave's gonna start drinking as they talk, and
I'll pass.
He's only got something like 29 credits, but he'll probably drink that worth if he can.
Yeah. Okay then. So you also like settled down. Is everybody drinking or?
No. Zath doesn't drink.
So what's Zath doing then?
He's going to have a glass of water.
Okay.
That'll be it.
Well, and then what you're doing, because Dave is probably drinking throughout the night, and Buddy, you're probably fine. You can probably keep up if you wish.
Yeah.
We're doing rounds, aren't we?
Yes, of course. I'd like to spend about 20 credits throughout the night in alcohols, and beverages of sorts. But for the most part, I'd like to try and amuse my new friends with my sleight of hand skill.
Yeah.
Just making things. I don't know, like trying to amuse them somehow. It's
Cool.
paper packets or the empty beer glasses.
Okay,
Stacking.
so just before we do that, Zaf, what are you doing? Because you're sort of like, after the first round, you've had your water. What's your plan for the rest
I'll
of
have another water with my 9 credits, and sit here just making sure that these two are being sensible.
So you're just drinking water all night then?
Yes.
Okay then. So Buddy, roll your. You can try to perform some wonderful vanishing, guess where the beer mat's gone, tricks. So by all means, roll your sleight of hand. Hang on, don't roll it yet. What kind of trick do you want to do?
I got
just
one.
to let you know, they are rated on difficulty class. So there's 5, difficulty 5, which is quite an easy trick that anybody can see through instantly. There's difficulty 10, which looks quite good, okay, but if somebody rolls a perception roll and gets 10 or above, they will actually see how it's done and sort of like go, it's in your hand, or something like 15, and then 20 is the top one.
Calculating. I'm going to go to the bar to get our beverages the next round.
Yeah.
And I've already calculated, assuming that I fail this, which is going to be the DC 15 if I can.
Okay.
I would like to make it appear as though I went to get the beer and then came back with no beer somehow. And then just like pull it out of behind my back or something silly.
Okay, so you can have a modified +1 for a good trick. So +1 to your dice. So you're rolling a 1d20. It'll do your normal skill, but just make sure I think there's a section at the end that says bonus or something like that on your character sheet.
There's a miscellaneous.
Yeah, just put 1 in it for this roll and then remove it. So this is 15. Yeah, go for it.
All right. And if I didn't already say, if I fail, which I'm planning for failure, I'm already going to replace it with my own credits.
Yeah. So what will happen, just so we know, you'll roll, Dave and Zath, if he fails, you've seen through the trick. Okay. If he succeeds, then you have an option. You can either be wowed by it, or if you wish, you can roll a perception to see whether or not you see through the trick. But you will be matching his roll. Okay.
I kind of assumed if I failed, the beer would end up on the ground. Let's go.
Oh yes. So you actually succeed. 15 does succeed. So Zath, you need to roll your. Are you just going to be impressed, or do you want to try to figure it out?
It's the most impressive trick.
Excellent.
And yes.
And Dave,
And
what
I only
about you?
have 2 arms.
Dave, what about you? Are you trying to see through it or just accepting it?
I mean, Dave's had a few, so he's just going to accept it.
Yeah. Okay. Just to let you know, if you were going to try to see through it, I was going to give you a minus roll, a minus number to your rolls, just so you know. Okay. Yeah. So it looks.
Yeah. Not. Yeah,
it looks like, Buddy, you're sort of like, yeah, you're well on the way. Both of them are impressed with your magical skills, that you've been using.
Yeah,
The beers were behind my back the entire time. Ha, ha, ha.
Right, so it wasn't a trick then.
I am no magician. Just Buddy Bot.
Do you want to see? Do you want to see my trick?
I would indeed.
So Dave's going to take his glass, and he's going to go. Who's up behind you, buddy? And when he does, he's going to quickly neck it and put it down.
Yeah, so Buddy, you turn around, then you look back, and the beer's no longer in the bottle, and
But
Dave.
you do see sort of like froth on Dave.
Yeah, and Dave sort of like burps.
Wow, that was an incredible trick.
Yeah,
You are very talented.
I'm very talented, and I'm also very much without a drink in front of me now.
Okay, so the night progresses, and you busy. Zaf is drinking water. Buddy, you sort of like your programming allows you to act as if you're actually matching Dave's less level of intoxication, so it allows you to sort of like blend in with humans, but really and truly you're not drunk at all because it's physically impossible for you to become drunk. And so you're literally just sort of like mimicking his actions and laughing out loud. And Dave, both of you sort of like start to take in the water. And then shortly after midnight, well, about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, you leave the Drifter end part of Absalon Station, and you head back to your bunks, which is in a very it's almost like a youth hostel situation that you just sort of like stay in like a row of beds, and you just pay for this on a nightly basis, and it's part of the Starfinder Society's board and lodgings. And you sort of like spend the night there, and you get up ready in the morning to meet with Venture Captain Arvin, who is actually a Lashunta mystic. So they're vaguely they're not the completely insect race, but they tend to have male and female counterparts. And I think the females are mainly sort of like, or they could be they're mainly sort of like magic based, and then the male parts are a lot more physical prowess for fighting. And yeah, so you're going to be meeting him at a meeting at 10 a.m. the next day. And so you prepare yourself and you head off. Dave, can you just make a con roll for me, please?
Yes, let's have a look. See, do I just hit the con ability?
The con check, yeah. So
I think it's one of my better.
Yeah, well, even though you've been drinking most of the night, the DC was 15, by the way. You're sober. You're feeling a bit rough, but you're sober and not taking any penalties to any social interactions that you do today. And you sort of like, but you know your stomach's not the best at the moment. And all three of you head up to your meeting, and the you all know where the Starfinder Society's base is, don't you?
Is it in the middle?
You should know the name. The name's been given to you.
The shard.
Well, yeah. Well, okay then. So you tried to figure it out, and it was actually the Law Spire. That's where the Shadow Starfinders Society is, and you attend there, and you sort of like go up one of the spires that you can see in the picture, and you meet Venture Captain Arvin. And he's quite tall and confident, Lashunta, and he sort of like gestures you to several functional chairs, inviting you to sit. And then he starts to speak to you. Thank you for arriving so quickly. As I mentioned in my comm message, we have an urgent opportunity to recover some critical information. Are you taking notes?
Indeed.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yes, sir. I certainly am.
Sorry, Buddy Bot. I understand how you take notes. I was referring to the other two. Okay, then. So several months ago, a crew of a Starfinder ship, a crew of Starfinders took a ship called the Unbounded Wayfarer into the vast, which is unexplored space, to explore a series of uncharted planets. They never returned, ever. However, earlier today, a Vesk pawnbroker in the Download neighborhood contacted us, offering us to sell us several Starfinder insignias. These insignias belong to the lost crew of the Unbounded Wayfarer, and that immediately caught the Society's attention. The pawnbroker named Julzakama doesn't realise the true value of the insignias. We negotiated a purchase price, in exchange for the insignias and information about the seller. We hope this seller can lead us to the Unbounded Wayfarer and its crew. We've remotely transferred the requested credits to Zuzakuma now. However, we need you to collect the insignias and all the information you can recover from the Vesk regarding whoever sold him the insignias, and then track down the seller. Learn where to find the Unbounded Wayfarer and its crew. I'm worried that the seller might not be on Absalom Station for long, so please act quickly. If you have any questions, please make them fast. Okay, I'm just going to put some words for you in the chat so you can see it. So this is the neighbourhood down low. That's the neighbourhood of the
where the pawnbroker is.
Yeah. This is its Unbounded Wayfarer. That was the name of the ship. The Vesk pawnbroker is called Jules Karma, like that. And is there anything else you would... Oh, sorry, just to let you know, you also have these insignias. It's almost like a badge of honour that states that you're members of the Starfinder Society.
Dave's going to say how many people are on the Unbounded Wayfaring thing.
Excluding just Starfinders or the whole crew?
Well, you just want us to find Starfinders, don't you? Really?
Yes. Well, there was 8 of them in there, and 8 insignias have been found. These insignias are quite special to us. Long ago, they are for exemplary service to the society. Although this is not common outside the knowledge of the society, these insignias are no mere trinkets. They can be used to encrypt or decrypt information that the Starfinders want to keep hidden, if you understand my meaning. Yours, of course, are not of this designated rank and clearance.
So there might be information on these insignias then.
I think you can decide that yourself, Dave.
Yeah, right. Well, I've got no questions. What about you? Two.
Yeah, it seems rather a simple task, really. Just to find the.
Right, we'll get on then, shall we?
Indeed. Let's make a new friend.
Right. I don't suppose we're getting paid for it, are we?
No, Dave, and that's not really the... Dave will know that that's not really the sort of like the ethos of the Starfinder Society. It's not that sort of society. It's not sort of like, give me money or no. It's a lot more for the common good and venture forth. Yeah.
It is our purpose.
Yes, correct.
Right. So, once he's finished with us...
Yeah, is there any more questions you would like to ask anyone?
Not from me. I suppose, is there any like transportation that we would need to take to get down to the down low?
Well, you can take the humble public transport if you wish. So that'll probably just like take like a Johnny cab, so to speak.
Hello,
Okay.
I'm a Johnny Cab.
That will be the plan.
Okay, does anybody have a culture skill?
I do.
Okay, would you like to roll your culture skill? DC of 12, please.
Absolutely. Culture.
Yeah, no, you. That's a one,
That's
isn't
a
it?
one.
That is a one.
Automatic failure.
Yeah. Okay, then that's fine.
Critical miss.
I presume that Buddy Bot has mostly worked for people who need somebody to keep their child safe. Or
Yeah,
for a butler, so to speak.
you've never heard of this this Vesk pawnbroker at all?
Yeah. I get groceries, not
Yeah.
deals.
Thing is, deal's already been done by the society, isn't it? They've already paid him. We just got to
Indeed.
pick him up and then ask a couple of questions.
Does anybody have a diplomacy test skill?
I do.
All right. You could roll that DC 15 on this one.
Pow.
When has it gone from the sublime to the ridiculous? Yeah, 1 to
That's
19.
Buddy Bot.
Yeah.
One
Okay.
off a crit.
Okay. Then. You do find you do know from reputation and interactions with people that Vesks are notoriously arrogant, and they can be quite blunt and to the point, buddy. And they often lack any type of social graces. For anybody who doesn't know, the Vesk are a race of like lizard men, and they were actually at war with the Pact Worlds, and then there was an invasion, and I forget who it was by, but they actually joined forces to defeat. I want to say the Hive, but I don't think that's right. But they joined forces to defeat them, and that's when they became alliances. But Vesk are notoriously arrogant and think that they're the best.
Is there an appropriate gift that one might get for a Vesk if you were coming to visit, like perhaps a slab of synthetic meat or a gift of...
They're quite human in their taste, etc. You interact with them quite in a similar way as you would any human race, but sometimes people forget how blunt and arrogant Vesks are, and hence your diplomacy role, and sometimes they think they're being insulting, but really and truly it's just how they are. If you think about Klingons from the Star Trek universe, they're a bit like that. You know, they're quite
Abrupt
superior.
to the point.
Yeah.
Once we're in our Johnny cab going in the direction of the down low, I'll share all this information in a long-winded manner to my friends and the driver.
Yeah, cool.
Any history that I can recall and whatnot like that. All that stuff.
Dave's probably asleep, to be honest with you. As soon as Buddy starts talking, he's probably sort of like thinking, right, it's going to take us half an hour. I'll just get a bit of extra shut eye.
Yeah, cool. So I'm just trying to find that. Yeah, I'll look at it later. Yeah, cool.
We're trying to find out who invaded.
Yeah. It's annoying me. Because I read it. It's not a problem. Okay, yeah, so whereabouts would you like to go?
We want to head we want to head down to the down low.
Yeah, so down low is a poor and densely populated section of the Spike, which is, if you look on your map, the Spike is the bit that goes underneath Absalon Station, and it's almost like gang run. You know, it's not. Although there is a bit of crime down here, mostly it's give and take. There are some murders, etc., but the stewards have it in control. And people know that if there's too much gang warfare there, then people will actually they would lose their power in the prime exec, to actually govern their areas. So they keep it to a minimum, but it's not the sort of thing that you would want your grandma to walk down by herself. It's not that sort of place.
It was called a swarm, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I what did I say? Hive.
The hive.
Yeah, I was close. I was close. Yeah.
Wasn't it Stargate SG-1 when it was the swarm?
Was it? I don't know.
No, that's the hive.
Was it the hive?
Was that the hive? Is that where I've got
That's
it from?
SG-1.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's where I've got it from.
Do correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that's right.
So yeah, so the Jules' shop is about an hour travel from the Law Spire complex, which is the headquarters of your Starfinder Society. And you sort of like travel down by public transport through Absalom Station until you get close to the almost like to the edge of down low, and then the cab driver takes your money and sort of like says, he won't go further. It's not the sort of place that he wants to drive. And so you sort of like get out and sort of like head down. And although some areas of download are clean and trendy, this narrow alley of concrete blocks and almost like metal buildings that seem to drip with oil and those sparking wires. Do you know what I mean? When the power's not quite on, and it's following the directions from your captain, adventure captain. You soon find Jules's shop, and there's a wide red neon electric sign that says Jules' Karma's loans on a building that seems to be sandwiched between what appears to be a derelict building covered with graffiti and what almost like looks like it's boarded up. However, there is a title over it that says that it is a sensation house. You also notice that the shop's solid metal door contains a small tiny window, and which is very, very grimy. Okay.
So is the door shut, I take it?
It certainly is, and it's a solid metal door.
Has it got like a little hatch in it so that people can...
Yeah, it's got this small window that how tall are you?
4 foot.
Yeah, you're too little to sort of like peer into it. How tall is Buddy and Kath?
I presume Buddy's about the height of a regular human.
Okay.
Probably slightly on the shorter side, like maybe 5'9".
Well, you probably hit the exact average of an average human due to your because you will be able to, when you were created, it would have been perfect. So if you're male, you're likely to be 6 foot exactly, no matter what. If you're female, and then you're probably about 5'9" exactly, not an eighth of an inch too big or too small. And how
150 pounds either way.
Yes. And how tall is Kath? Okay.
Sorry. I was that?
Well, thanks for paying attention.
Sorry,
I was watching telly.
I try my best to create a wonderful atmosphere for players to immerse themselves in. We'll just pretend that you're 6 foot.
I was astounded by the atmosphere. I'm about 6 foot to be found, medium size, 6 foot. So I'll be wearing about.
So are you taller than 6 foot or 6 foot?
No, I would say about 6 foot, 5'8". No, 6 foot.
6 foot. Okay then. Yeah. So Buddy and Kath can sort of like look through the small window, but it's definitely very grimy. Roll a percentage check. DC 15 for me, please. Perception. No, not you, Buddy. Dave, because you can't see.
Percentage check.
Oh, sorry, perception. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
My fault. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Nice bonus on your perception.
I thought it'd be nice to have that train for once, since Bartleby can't see anything in front of his own face.
Buddy, I think you have low light. You have dark vision, don't you?
I think I do. Let me scroll up. I saw some. Yeah, low light, dark vision, 60 feet.
Yeah, so I think it's roughly the same as 5e. So if you're in your dark vision allows you to see in complete darkness, but only in black and white.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Or grayscale, and then your low light allows you to see in less. What about Kath? What senses does your, I forget what your race is called. What does your race have, Kath?
You did.
Hello?
The microphone's muted.
Muted. Sorry. None as far as I'm aware. Just normal vision. And I looked through this with a fine tooth.
Let me just have a look.
Mine was automatically on mine, so I guess I got that pre-installed.
Yeah, I added that for you.
Thanks.
So you had it. Yeah. Okay then. So you and what is Dave's? Just so I know.
Dave has dark vision to 60 foot.
Yeah, can see 60 foot in the dark. Yeah. Cool. What does it say for yours? It says, oh, it's just the page number for dark vision, isn't it?
On my CAD sheet.
No, 263. I didn't know whether or not it's. Yeah. It's essentially dark vision. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay then. So, Buddy, you can sort of like see in, and you can see that there through the Kath. You can't see anything through the window with your normal eyesight. Your low light and dark vision sort of like kick in, Buddy, and you can see that there seems to be inside. There seems to be a like a counter. It's definitely a pawnbroker's of some description, and you can see sort of like shelves which seem to be wire cages. So it's almost like wire cages with things inside them and with huge padlocks on them, so you can look inside, but obviously there's no touching. And at the far end, there seems to be a Vesk that is just sort of like propping up his elbow on a counter, and he seems to be flipping through some kind of paper magazine.
I believe we are about to give some excitement to a very secure shop owner's day. Buddy would like to activate the door if he can.
Yeah, the door's open, and you sort of like turn the handle and push the door inwards, and as you go in, it goes like that, and the Vesk sort of like lifts his head up, and this is what you see.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, very nice.
He sort of you sort of like come in, and he sort of like says, yes, people, how can I help you today?
Greetings. We are looking for Jules Akama.
You have found him, Mr. Android.
I am BuddyBot, but you can call me Buddy. These are my cohorts.
Oh, thank you kindly. Has somebody brought in a rat? I can definitely smell a rat here.
Yeah, furthermore before. Yeah.
Oh, you brought a Yusuke with you. How very, very, very funny. He sort of like leans over the counter to you, Dave, and says, "Don't worry, I won't eat you."
Yeah, don't forget to do a height joke as well.
A height joke? I was going to think more of a smelly rat joke.
Oh, oh, hang on. Oh, no, sorry, I thought my side had split, but it hasn't. Yeah.
He turns to you, buddy, and says, I think your Thuki has somewhat of a sense of humour.
Dave's going to start browsing around the shop. Is there things to pick up?
No, it's now that you're in here. So imagine that the whole side of the shop is just sort of like, you know, those wire cages that children put the pumps in at school.
Yeah.
It's like that, but each cage is sort of like closed off with a padlock on it. So it's almost like you can see inside the cages because they're just wire mesh.
Touch.
But you can't touch them at all. You know,
Just like an off-license in Liverpool.
I wouldn't know. What are you
screened.
Medivac? What are you implying about Liverpool? About that guy?
I wouldn't like to say.
It's like the razors in Sainsbury's that you can't.
Yeah, but it's literally so each sort of like wire cage is about this wide and about this high and about that deep.
If you go to Tesco's, their raisins are open up, and
Well, that's because raisins are actually fine to buy. You don't need to have anything special.
Razors.
I know.
Oh, sorry, I thought he said raisins.
No, I said razors, and he said raisins.
Oh, right. I was going to say, what's dangerous about raisins?
Oh.
Okay, so just before we go in and have a bit of a discussion with Jules, let's take a quick 10 minute or 10 minute 10-minute break. We'll have a quick 10-minute break, and so the players can I was going to say shave their legs then. I meant
do that too.
Well, I was actually going to have a piss and get a bit of pizza. But...
what I meant to say was, I meant to. You please go off and stretch your legs.
Oh, stretch.
And we will be back. I've just clicked on the wrong.
Well, I'm going.
No, don't go yet. I need to do the proper ending of this.
Go, walk out the door.
Don't turn around now. You're not welcome
Now
in.
you started him on that. That's
Right, so we'll have.
Weren't you the one that tried to hurt me with your lies?
Did I stumble?
Did I lay down and die?
Oh no,
the
not
one
I.
flies.
I will survive as long as I know how
Mr.
love.
Pickles is sort of like looking at us and thinking, "Oh my God!"
Okay, the 10 minutes has started. We will be back in 10. Please, guys, do not go away.
Boom.
I've been thinking about a design for my channel. You have to remember, I'm not an artist or a creative person. I have the programs, but not the expertise. I don't have the money to hire a graphic or concept designer, or to take the time off work to attend art classes or creative retreats. So I had to come up with something myself. It had to represent my channel and me. It had to be easy and yet adaptable. And so, after much thought and crunches up of pieces of paper, I came up with the following design. It's not detailed. It's not graphically stunning. It's not colourful. It's not complex. It's simple because it reflects me and my skills. What is it? Well, to represent me in Wills, it's just an eye.
Yep.
And we are back. So it was just talking about characters. So yeah, so medicine has a cross by it. So unless you actually train in that skill, you cannot roll it.
Right, I'm with you.
So it's a bit like what it stops, and this often happened in D&D. You could have somebody just roll an Arcana check, even though they were a fighter.
Yeah.
Because it was just sort of like a recognisable skill. Mythras does it, but it has standard skills that they think everybody should be able to do. But then the professional skills you can't do unless you're trained or you're at a huge disadvantage.
Right, I'm with you, yeah.
Yeah, so excellent. So we are back and we are about to head into Jules's pawnbroker shop, aren't we? That's where we left it. And you can see that I've mentioned all the shelves, and in these little cages, there's everything from sort of like small appliances to VR game consoles, and there are in some just jars of coloured powder, and it has a very acrid smell to it. And I'm not being offensive when I say this, but it
does smell like Android, does it?
No, it smells a little bit like a reptile house that probably hasn't been cleaned in a huge amount of time. So Jules was sat over the side reading flicking through a magazine, and when you get close to it, Kath and Buddy, you can see it's quite shall we say a naked Vesk magazine. He's looking at some kind of
porno mag.
Yes, pornographic material, and he sort of like stood there. You can see how he's dressed. You can see that he also has a disassembled computer next to him over to one side that it looks like he's sort of like trying to fit together. And so that's what he's doing.
Dave's going to be having a look in these little cages to see whether or not he can see anything, sort of like really, really useful, something that, anything technology he likes.
Yeah, well, the whole place is basically technology in some way or form, from either something like a gaming console to something that seems to be some kind of like a sonic screwdriver or something like that.
He'll say, don't suppose you get any like photon crystals, do you?
Jules sort of like looks at you and says, "No." He says, he looks at you, Buddy, and sort of like says, "Your little what do you call him? Ratling is a bit of a nosy person, isn't he? Anyway, Mr. Androidling, how may I help you on this today?"
I don't know about Rattling, but I call him Dave. We are here on professional business endeavors, though. We are here to pick up several insignia of the Starfinder crew.
Oh, yes. You're from Captain Arvin, then, yes. I thought you may be. He says, let me have a look.
What about fake shell countermeasures? You ever get any of those?
Let me... And he sort of like crouches down behind the counter, and he comes up again with what seems to be a small metal box. It's only about this by this. It's quite tiny, a bit like a small jewellery box. And he says, now, there you go. And he sort of like pushes it over to you with his sort of like his clawed hand. It seems that we're fully paid for those trinkets, it seems. And he pushes those across. And then he says, I remember Captain Arvin said something about you wanting information too.
Yes.
I can do that, he says. For extra.
Can I just do a sense motive on him?
Yeah, by all means.
Oh, or not.
His motive
Okay.
looks like he's trying to sell you
buddy.
something. Yeah.
I would like to say to him, or Buddy, what I mean, I'm afraid that we need this information for the purpose of the Starfinders. Lives are at stake, my friend.
Yes, my dear androidling. I am aware of that, but you know what makes the world go round? And the answer is not geocentric gravity.
That's what Dave was going to say, because he knows that. He's going to say, yeah, it's geocentric gravity.
I'd like to try and roll diplomacy if I can, and say it would surely look good upon your shop if the Starfinders knew you were free with information.
Okay, yeah, well, diplomacy. Let's have a DC 16.
That seems fair. Big money, little money.
Little money. He goes, hey, yes, I understand what you're saying, but really, and he sort of like plays with his spikes, his spiky beard that you can see in the picture. Yes, but I really think it's going to cost you somewhat.
How much are we talking here?
Well, how much are you offering?
Dave's still looking around at stuff, but he's just going to say, as he's still sort of like looking at the things in the in these cages. Occasionally, he might sort of like just try one of the locks just to make sure that it is.
Yeah, it's well and truly padlocked together. Yeah,
but without looking across, he's gonna say, just make sure that he's given us 8 of those, buddy.
I give Dave a little nod of confirmation, and I look back. I'm not entirely sure what the correct skill might be here, but it's either culture or sense motive, I think, to determine how much would be appropriate to try and bribe him with in this case.
Yeah, you can make a culture check for me.
Yes.
Yeah, you figure bribing on Absalon Station, especially in the down low region, comes in lots of 10 credits. So 10 credits is the sort of like the starting amount, but you can give 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. You wouldn't, 100 credits is the sort of like not heard of, you know, so it's in lots of 10.
Okay.
Unless you want to give 100. And what I'll do, because I'm a nice DM, is that I will allow you to use the equivalent of your lots of 10 as a positive dice modifier if you wish to try to persuade him again. So you say, for example, you put 50 credits down, I'll give you +5 to your roll.
Okay. And did I see what the price was for the ×8 of items that Dave wanted?
No, I was saying make sure that there was 8 insignias.
Yeah, he's giving
Oh,
us
right.
the charge, isn't he?
I got confused.
It's the
And then I
influence
confirmed
charge.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so buddy, you can open the box if you wish.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick while I'm still kind of peering at this guy with one eye, calculating my bribery.
Yeah, yes, there's 8. It's just like a tin box, and there's 8 insignias in there, sort of like rattling around.
$10. I would have preferred copper.
It tends to rust and oxidize.
Indeed, but it is more beautiful, is it not?
In down low, we don't talk about beauty, apart from the beauty of the Vesks themselves. And he sort of like lifts his arms and just sort of like pumps his guns up a bit.
I'm gonna look at him and then blankly stare down at his magazine and say, yes, the Vesk are quite beautiful.
He turns it around and says, especially these two.
It's just a blank stare at his magazine. And I look back and say, how about 20 credits for the information on lives of people?
Roll your diplomacy skill.
All right.
So you get +2 to the roll now.
I'm going to add that in. 1, 2. Beautiful. Diplomacy power.
Oh,
And even with his +2 bonus that he gets, that actually takes the roll up to 18. You actually succeed with your bribe. And he says, but he sort of like says, okay, I'll give you the information since you gave me so much money. Not because of any skill that you possess. And he says, well, you might be interested in the information that comes along with that, with those little trinkets. He says, I bought them from a seller. She was definitely, shall we say, undead. She looked
Undead.
She looked like a manling, but didn't breathe or blink or anything. And she mentioned something about hiring local muscle, just in case. Not too sure what she meant by that.
What about high capacity batteries? Have you got any of those?
Oh, for a little bit for 10 more credits. I'll give you a bit more if you want.
I see no harm in that. 10 more credits.
Oh, yeah. You might want to know she wasn't from around here, and she wore some kind of flight suit, like she's just come off some long trip. Oh, and once she had her money, she said something really peculiar. She said, do you sell clean skeletons? I said, nah, I don't carry goods like that. So I sent her to the vat garden. Now, he says, can I interest you in some similar magazines than this, Mr. Buddyling?
Did you buy anything else from her?
No.
Right.
Would you like to buy something else from me?
Do you have any medical equipment?
No. We're more into electronic gizmos here.
if one wanted to buy muscle, where would one go here?
Anyway, here, I think.
Not to the gym.
Are you local muscle that would be hired?
Well, anybody will do anything for money round this place. We obviously not been to down low a lot.
No, it's not somewhere we tend to frequent.
Yeah, whatever that might mean.
Where can we find the back garden?
The vat garden, yeah, it's in down low. Few minutes walk from here. About 20-30 minutes walk.
Right.
Are there any warnings you could give us about the vat garden?
Don't eat the plants.
Thank you. I will remember that.
What did this woman look like?
And he goes back to reading his magazine.
Right.
I guess I'll turn to the rest of the group. Shall we go to the vat garden?
I believe that is our next course. Yes, definitely.
Do you think that we should communicate back with the Starfinders? Give them any information we have discovered so far?
Always wise to check in, I think.
Indeed.
Just
Goodbye, friend.
Was there any marking on her flight suit? Zulzakama.
Jules Kama.
Yeah, him.
Sorry, Dave, are you talking to Jules?
Yeah.
He sort of like says, do you have diplomacy?
No.
No. He just sort of like says, so are you still here?
Yeah. I was wondering whether or not you had any glue-on crystals, the minor ones.
No, not for rattlings. Close the door on your way out, will you?
Do you have them for other races?
Close the door.
Will do.
There's a draft in here.
I'll go close the door for him and then stare directly back at him from the doorway that is closed.
Anybody who has a culture skill, roll it now if you're trained in it.
Oh my gosh.
Are we sure that these dice rolls are actually working properly?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, no.
It feels like I'm cheating.
What 1d20 plus 5, yeah.
It's an android who's messing with the dice.
Okay, so you, Buddy, you know the following information which you can relate to the rest of the people, to Kath and Dave in your party. So the Downlow's Vat Garden was once a vast pool of sort of like bioactive substances that drained away sort of like decades ago. And the residue in the pool still enhances like growth of like biological organisms, and an enterprising Yosoki family purchased the empty pool and has turned it into a garden, and they actually sell fresh plants from this region, from this pool around Absalom Station, and the demand exceeded their supply, so they started to bring in what you remember as biological waste and as mulch, and they started to feed it, and it became rather riotous tangle of plants. You also know that there is rumour that they've been taking. There's a rumour around Downlow that the Yosuke actually have a deal with the local mortuary, so they will actually take dead bodies from them and pay the mortuary for the dead bodies, and they give that to the poor family and then use them as mulch within the within the vat garden. So as well as growing plants from biological waste, there's also rumours that they're using dead bodies mulched up in there as well.
Solient green.
The plants are made of people!
Do we know what a manling is?
Yes, it's a human.
He was adding ling to all races.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Because I'm an android ling.
Yeah, and he called you a ratling.
Yeah, he's a tricksty one.
Yeah,
there.
A tricksling.
And I do tell them all that, of course.
Yeah, it was a way of almost like showing dominance.
Oh, right.
You know, that he's a Vesk and you're a manling or a ratling. You know, so he's the most superior race of them all.
I could have taken him.
Indeed, you could have. Shall we get going now?
I think it's wise. Let's get on to the vac pit.
What do you think he meant when he said she was undead?
I do not know. He was probably mistaken. That reminds me, we should call our superiors, let them know, yes?
think maybe she was just pale and gaunt or something.
Or maybe an android who is looking for more parts.
Androids breathe and blink.
Of course
Yeah.
they do.
Do we have a method of calling our superior? Is there like terminals that we can access or anything?
Yeah.
This-
So comlink.
There's a comm unit, personal comm unit, which also acts as a
Oh.
zero.
That's right.
If you bought one, that is.
If you exactly.
I didn't buy one.
It also doubles up as a flashlight.
Oh dang, that sounds
Really,
fancy.
because I bought 2 flashlights as well
Ah.
for my arms. A bit of lightsaber.
So I guess Buddy's just gonna stare at you guys, expecting an answer of how to communicate with our superiors.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you think we should wait until we get something a bit more concrete? I
No.
don't really think he would be bothered with us sort of like ringing up and saying, yeah, we've been to see the lizard and we've collected the...
Doesn't one think it's be a little bit wise to say we have the 8 signiers and we're now going to investigate the vat pit, the vacuum pit, so at least we know where we're going if there's any problems.
Which of us took the tin box?
You will have it, buddy.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, because it wasn't copper. I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. Let's get on and...
Indeed. Then, if we are not calling back onto the Vat Garden,
Yeah. So what is the? Are you planning to head off to the Vat Garden? Is that?
I believe so. It looks like we're going on foot, unless we would need.
Yeah, well, it's only about a 20-minute walk from here, so it's not a huge amount of distance at all. But you do notice that as you get closer and closer to the Vat Garden, you notice that the general tide of people tend to be coming away from it rather than towards it. And you do feel that you're actually moving in the wrong direction. And as you get closer and closer and closer, you suddenly notice that the area is quite devoid of people. And I'll put you on so you can see yourselves. So you can zoom the map out if you wish. So you
Were people saying anything as they were walking away, or
no, they seem to be rather in a hurry.
right?
And there was no
But it wasn't sort of like a panic rush or anything.
no, but there was no Yasukis in that group at all. So as you can see from where you are, so you can see that there's the Vat Garden is actually down. It's about 15 foot from sort of like here down into the trees and the bushes down below. So you can see down into that. You will notice that here there's a ladder. Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah.
Down, and then there's another one down at the far end. So these things here is like dense undergrowth. So imagine that because it's 15 foot down, they've obviously got trunks coming up, and then there's almost like a canopy, okay, over the top. You can see down to the ground in places, but you can't sort of like see what is actually in that area.
Is this these trees, etc.? Is it sort of like, did they come up level with the walkway where we are?
Yeah, in some places, obviously, some places they're not 15 foot high.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of the places they're quite high. Sometimes they poke up. They look quite healthy. They look like they've got quite nice fertilizer being popped into it. You know, so it looks good growth.
What's this here? Is this steps going down, or
No, that is just like, it looks like it was once something that might have poured something into the pool.
mulch?
Yeah, That the only entrances down are down at the two ladders.
The two ladders. Right.
Yeah, and these things here are just like a slight incline, and you can see down here there's a set of doors that go down off to another street.
Okay.
And so we've seen a whole lot of people sort of like moving away from this, but is there any signs of? I mean, it's run by Yozokis. Is there any
Yozokis? Yeah. No, that's why there seems to be nobody. I mean, you're quite stood back away from the edge at the moment. So if you would like to get closer and sort of like have a look, then you're quite welcome to, any or all of you.
I'll do that.
Yep. I'm the same. I'm moving to the edge, so just having to peer over and going, hello.
Okay. So, and what about you, Dave?
Dave's going to start heading towards the ladder.
Okay, so Kath and Buddy, if you make your perception rolls for me, please.
Absolutely. Hold on just a second.
Yeah, Zaf, you don't see anything.
Oh, trees, no, nothing.
Just trees, yeah.
Shoes. Look at my shoes.
I messed up my character sheet.
Oh,
I made
yeah,
all the proportions weird.
Yeah, and Buddy, your sort of like senses kick in, and there seems to be some kind of humanoids in there. They're sort of like human size. They're not Dave size. They're bigger, more sort of like normal human size, and they seem to be digging in various places. You can actually see one here. That's the one that you sort of like picked up.
All right, I'll call out to them. Greetings, laborers. We seek information.
Dave, you're at the ladder now. Yeah, sure as you say this, you suddenly notice that it stops digging and keeps very still. Yes, Dave, what would you... You've just heard Buddy call out. What would you like to
What's
say?
this bit here? Is this nothing?
That's just like another corridor heading off back into Downlow.
Right, okay. Right, so Dave's gonna he's gonna get on the ladder and start going down.
Okay.
He wants to do one of those things, you know, when you get and you hold on and then you put your legs on the outside of the ladder.
Oh, and then slide down.
And
Yeah.
slide down really fast and then
Yeah,
stop.
make a dex check for me, please. Or no, actually, you can make an acrobatics or athletics, one or the other. I forget the subtle differences between those. There's a subtle difference, isn't there?
Yes, dex and strength.
No, between athletics and...
Yeah, acrobatics is more of a dex base. It's more springing and diving and whatnot.
Athletics is strength.
Strength, exactly. So it's more.
Yeah, it's more to do with climbing and swimming
That's
and things
right.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So make a athletics check. Yeah.
A strength one.
An athletics one. Yeah, it's strength. Whatever athletics comes under. Oh, nice one.
Oh, critical glitch.
Yeah. So do you have a -1 to that roll?
Yeah, because
not
I'm
criticism.
I don't have any strength. He has a really low strength, so he has a negative modifier.
Oh right,
to
yeah.
his
So
strength.
you try to slide down this ladder, and you sort of like get halfway down and just sort of like drop off it and sort of like land on the floor. Make me a hang on, I just need to get my character sheet up. Make me a make me a fortitude saving throw. I should just press the button.
happen?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you see, you sort of like land, and you take 1 point of stamina as you land badly on the floor from your save. But you sort of like you don't think anybody saw you. But maybe sliding down ladders is not the best thing. And you're probably very good at something else, Dave, apart from sliding down ladders. But you are now down at the bottom of the ladder. Okay, Zath and Buddy, what would you like? Zath, let's do you next. What would you like to do?
Yes, well, I'm going to, seeing these people down there, I'm going to walk down
You haven't... What did you say?
Oh, sorry, I haven't seen them, have I? No, I'm blind as a
No.
bat.
Yeah. Or you know that Buddy has called out to somebody.
Buddy, what can you see down there?
I see something moving and trying to be still, and then as Dave falls down, concern.exe activated, and I begin to walk as quickly as I can over in his direction.
Okay.
Dave,
So,
Dave.
yes, Zath, what...
Be careful, Dave. Don't. There's somebody else down there, Dave. Dave.
So, Zath, what are you doing?
I'm going to move towards the ladder. And
Okay, so you're following Buddy, yeah?
yes, indeed.
Okay then, so Buddy, you get to the ladder next. Dave, you're down at the bottom.
Dave picks himself up off the.
Yeah, you get you're up off the ground before they arrive. What would you like to do?
Looking up and seeing them at the top of the ladder, he's going to go, yeah, watch out, there's a dodgy rung about halfway down.
Good to know.
Thank you for the information.
I want to turn in the direction, which I think you said was about like right here on the map where I last heard or sensed the person. I want to try greeting them again. I say, greetings, laborer. We seek to talk to you. We seek information.
Dave, make a perception roll. Yeah, you can see that there is a human in there, and they're sort of like crouched down. They appear. I just need to stick it on so I can access their character sheet. If they will load, which they won't.
Oh.
That's strange. Why won't it go onto my... Is Roll20 still working for you?
Feels like it is.
Yeah.
Actions.
I can't drag anything onto the map.
Did you try refreshing the page?
Have you tried switching it off and back on?
There's like something in the menu where you... Oh yeah, there's an exit game button.
There it is. Oh, it was just a big buddy came on.
Buddy.
Yeah, I can drag you on, but I can't drag my...
Have you given them the correct...
Oh, I know what it's doing.
Yes.
I like Big Buddy.
Big buddy.
Big buddy. Buddy. Hiya, Buck.
Does Buddy have a photographic memory?
Buddy is not programmed for those kinds of endeavors. Buddy is programmed for friendship.
Oh, right.
I remember all things important for friendship.
Did you remember the pictures in that Vesk magazine?
That kind of material would be very, very bad for a friendship bot. And it's totally not the reason why I was fired from my last job.
Yeah, there seems to be. I'll put him on now. There seems to be in here somebody who was literally seemed to have been digging in the ground. He's sort of like crouched over now. He seems to be. I've picked up in one of his hands what appears to be quite a big hammer in one of his hands. That's all you can see at the moment.
Was that looking for the?
Yeah.
Is the only person who sees the hammer
Dave, yeah.
Okay.
Because Dave's at another level.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so you're still looking down through the canopy, while Dave's actually down at the bottom, so he can see through the trees.
Could I begin my descent down this ladder?
Yeah, you're just waiting for Dave to move because he's currently stood at the bottom of the ladder. So
he'll move. He'll move to one.
Okay, so yeah, buddy,
and sort of like start looking around.
Yeah, so buddy, you can go down the ladder.
Absolutely, down the ladder. Once I get down there, I want to put a hand on Dave's shoulder and say, "Are you okay, buddy?"
Yeah, it was just a faulty rung.
Are you feeling pain?
Well, I've got a bruised rump, if that's what you mean, and my snout's.
You will be fine. Walk it off.
Yeah. Great, thanks.
Oh dear.
There's a person over there with a hammer. He was digging. Maybe
Dave.
I'll take a glance over at him then.
Dave, does an attack of 13 against your energy armor class hit?
It does not.
Okay, so all of a sudden, from down to the southeast of the sort of like the vat cave garden, shoots what appears to be a laser weapon, probably just like an azimuth laser pistol, and it comes shooting out and sort of like hits your kinetic your energy armor and sort of like blasts a bit of a burn in it. And you notice that let me just bring him out. You notice that here, you'll be able to see it now, or you should be able to see it. Can you see him?
Mm-hmm.
There's a similar guy, very similar to the person on the other side, stood there, and he's just fired his laser pistol at you. So let's have some initiatives.
Ooh, initiative. Where's that name? There it is. We need to select our token.
Yeah, of course.
What in the world? How are we getting decimal rolls?
0.03.
Yeah, so how Starfinder does it is that it actually rolls it in decimals.
Holy cow.
To actually... Pathfinder does it the same as well. So just it allows it to differentiate via your dexterity roll. So I would have thought that Dave and who was it, Buddy? Did you get the same dice rolls?
I rolled. Buddy's is in green actually. Buddy got a
20. Yeah, he got a national 20. But can you see it says
I only rolled a 19, but I have.
Yeah, can you see after it, if you hover over it, it says 20 plus 2 initiative, 0.02 tiebreaker.
Right.
And if you roll over yours, it says 0.03 tiebreaker. So can you see, because you two have the same initiatives, you win on the tiebreaker. So you go first. And it automatically does that for you.
Yeah, if you rest your mouse over the thing, it tells you tiebreaker on there with the point over.
That is really cool. Huh.
I just need to do one more thing. Just hang on a minute.
If I can note for I don't know if this actually helps, so it's kind of a half question, but I have the bodyguard feat. So when I'm adjacent to somebody as a reaction action,
Yeah.
I can give him a +2 to armor. Would that have even applied in a situation like that, or would I be out of line of asking that?
You could have done it if it wasn't a surprise roll.
Gotcha.
So if you knew it was actually arriving, then yes, you would have been able to do that. But currently, because it was part of the wow, that's big.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How many reactions do we get per turn? Because I was looking on the actions in combat.
Yeah.
And I don't think I.
So you actually get if you scroll back, if you pick up the actions in combat,
Got it.
underneath I've written down. So each round is 6 rounds. In a normal round, you can perform 1 standard action, 1 movement action, and 1 swift action, or you can instead perform 1 full action. So you can see that full actions is like charge, run, withdraw, full attack, etc., etc. But normally you would have a standard action, a move action, and a swift action. So swift actions are like bonus actions in D&D, and it will stay. Yeah.
But reactions. How many reactions would I get?
That's just attack of. The only reaction action you can take is attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, I asked because my bodyguard feat is considered a reaction, so I was curious, like if I could only do 1 reaction per turn,
Yes,
and only protect 1 person, or if it's everybody around me that I could use for reactions to pull everybody in.
Yeah, it depends. I think it depends on the situation that I will call at that point.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So rather than a steadfast rule on it.
What's the scale? Is it 1 square equals 5 foot on this?
It should be. Let me just check it.
10 foot.
1 unit should be 5 foot.
So one of these is...
No, ignore the. Yeah, that's
Right.
roughly like 10 foot. Yeah, but I would just use the ruler rather than anything else. So yeah, so let's dive into combat. And Dave, you are up on 22.03. What would you like to do? Just so you guys know, you can move and fight, or you can fight and move. You can't move, fight, move. If that makes sense. So you can't. You can move and fight, or fight and move, but you can't move, fight, move. You can't split your movement.
Yeah, so you can't run 10 feet, shoot them another 10 feet.
Yeah, you can't run up to somebody, hit
shoot
them, and then take a 20-foot dash away from the other side. And if you did do that, of course, you would open yourself to an attack of opportunity.
Okay, so this guy is probably, 30 foot away?
Yeah, about 29, 30 foot, yeah.
Right.
And just remember, if you go anywhere past their square, you will invoke a target of opportunity as well.
Okay, so having just been shot at, Dave almost holds his hands out like he was about to hold a rifle.
Yeah.
And his rifle that's on his back just flips and lands in his hand.
Yeah, cool.
Which is he's got the what they call it, the called the called fusion in it, which allows him to teleport it as a swift action.
Okay.
So, and then he's going to fire a shot back at where it came from.
Yeah. So, so this guy is concealed within the undergrowth. So how concealment works, guys, is that the first thing you will do is that you roll a to hit roll, which is on your normal weapon. It'll probably be against his energy, won't it, if it's laser? Okay, then, and so if it hits, if you've got concealment, then there's a percentage concealment that you have to roll. So say, for example, if my concealment is, say, 80%, if you hit, Dave, I then need to get below 80 and the shot will actually hit the tree.
Right.
Okay, so cover is slightly different. Cover increases your armor class. So these guys are actually concealed. Yeah, so roll your to hit.
Okay, which is just my ranged attack.
Yeah. It's just your attack of... Is that your weapon attack? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah, 23. So that's against his... It's an energy weapon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that hits. So I need some damage.
And it's critical as well, so it's not supposed to hit.
Yeah, so it should say... the reason it should say the critical effect there. What you're finding?
Well, yeah. To be honest with you, I'm just going to roll this because I pressed my attack rather than the one on my weapon.
That's all right.
So,
yeah.
So the critical effect is that it has fire damage.
Yeah. Okay then. So it does 8 points of 8 damage, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. 1d8 it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So you rolled an 8 there. Yeah, and then it's crit. This
is 1d6 worth of.
Yeah, so therefore roll your 1d6. That's 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pop your you fire this cold fusion thing off, and it hits the mercenary. It actually goes through his energy armor, but he's still up. He's not dead or anything. Okay.
Do I now get a movement as well?
If you wish to take a movement action, yeah.
So I don't have. Oh, that's because I'm on there. So then I want to move and try to use this
as cover.
Yeah, whether or not it's sort of like jutting out, I don't know. But
okay, yeah, it's like a statue in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, Buddy, you're up.
I would like to draw my friendship protector pistol,
yeah,
which is just a simple laser azimuth, and I will walk forward to remain adjacent to my cohort.
Yeah, cool, and that'll allow you to use a swift action, reaction later for your bodyguard if need be. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so now we're on to the mercenaries. So this is the mercenary that is up at the top that you saw before, and
the digging one.
Yeah.
He
actually let me just check. He can move that. So he makes his movement through the forest up to you, Buddy, and then he swings his hammer at you. So this is not EAC, it'd be a hitting, it'd be your KAC.
Well, they're both 12 because of my dexterity.
Oh, cool. So he gets 19.
Oh, no.
That a hit. And you take 4 points of damage. So that comes off your stamina points, not your hit points. So stamina points are like your stun. And you can actually regain them by taking like 10 minutes rest and using resolve points to sort of like recuperate from them. Once you've used all your stamina points, you then go into your hit points. And once you get down to 0 hit points, you're on the way to meet your holy maker. So that was mercenary 3. This is mercenary 2. Which is going to fire at you, Dave, but you've got some cover for that, so increase your armor class by 4 when I do this roll.
Okay.
This is the laser shot. Let's see whether or not it hits. 13.
No,
misses. So it's sort of like you see another laser shot and it pings off the side. Sorry, why? Zath.
We can't see your worlds, just so you know.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Zath, you up.
Right, so I will. I can see this guy down here now, can I?
No, he's still got concealment from the bushes. Yeah, because you're 15
top, so
you're
it's a
15 foot up.
No problem. In which case, I'll grab the rungs and slide down here in all the ruckus.
Okay.
Do you want to acrobatics roll or anything? Or
Yes,
just,
please. Yeah.
We'll go for an athletics or acrobatics.
I think it was acrobatics that we used,
No,
wasn't
it was athletics.
Athletics, yeah,
It was
athletics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so you slide down quite nicely and sort of like land at the floor. So that's your movement and your action round. And then, some other things are happening. Sorry, I'm just out of order now. At this point, you see some other things happening. Okay, so this is still on their initiative. This is what you see on their initiative as this happens. So the first thing that you, Dave and Buddy, you will see this coming out of that place there comes a woman. It looks like some kind of... she's very pale, unblinking eyes, and she's wearing what appears to be a flight suit. And she seems to be clutching some skulls in her hands as she comes out. And as she comes out, she releases them. And she's just, her movement has just been to come out of the undergrowth. That's her.
When you say releases them, what does she do? Just drop them on the floor?
Yeah, she just drops them. It looks like she actually had them in her hand, and she just sort of like drops them on the floor. But she is moving towards you guys. Okay, so she's used a movement, but she can't move any further now. But I didn't want you to think that she's just stopped there. She does look like she's continuing to move, and she will appear on the initiative order, initiative rank next round. And you also see stepping out from the undergrowth here is another mercenary. Both of these have got their azimuth laser pistols out when we get to there. So I'm just going to roll their initiatives so I can get them onto the... characters, onto the initiative tracker, so we've got them on.
Does initiative not change?
No, it just rolls through just like D&D would do. I'm just trying to find it on there.
Yes,
sheet.
once you've had a bad roll, you stuck with it.
Yeah, so that's for her. And this one... Oh, hang on, he's not assigned. Oh, yes, he is. That's cool. Oh, it's that one. That's a nice initiative roll. Right, okay then. So, can you see now? Can you see the tiebreaker effect there?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No.
Yeah, so that's what actually happens now. So this is going on to the next round. So this is round 2, and I'm going first. So this guy come out. He'll come out, Dave, and fire at you because
Okay.
you're the first person that he'll actually see. So remember, you've got the bonus for the cover, and he gets 6 and misses.
Yeah.
Dave, you're up.
Okay. Dave's going to start casting a spell. So as he's holding on to his laser rifle, it sort of like starts to get sort of like, you see sort of like green glyphs sort of like start going up and down the length of the thing as his hands start to glow.
Okay, so that's his standard action. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wish to move?
No, he's going to rely on his cover.
Okay, cool. Buddy, you're up.
Raising my laser pistol at the guy that was just swinging a laser at me. I want to shout to my allies in kind of a voice very much different from my normal voice, kind of one that sounds like it was recorded for a different robot almost, or android.
Are you going to say, danger, Will Robinson, danger?
No, I raise
Oh!
I raise my pistol and I say, "Get him!" I want to use this ability as my move action and then fire as my standard.
Okay, so you start your next turn. You and your so at the start of your next turn, yeah, you will all get +1 to your dice rolls. Yeah,
it's until the start.
Oh, sorry. Until the start of your next turn. Yeah. So from this one, so Zaf, and until you come around. So yeah, and then what do you wish to do? Fire at him.
Yeah. So I would add +1 to my attack modifier. Then is that correct?
Yeah, and you also get +4 because I'm going to say because he's right next to you. So add 5 to your roll.
Okay, and hopefully I'm doing this correctly. Rolling weapon.
Attack of 11 against his. This is a laser weapon, isn't it?
Correct.
His EAC is 10, so that hits, and he will. And so I take 3 points of damage. Yeah.
Yep, from the friend protector.
From the friend protector, and that's mercenary 3. Okay, yeah. Okay then. Zath, you're up.
I am gonna step forward with my hammer in hand, and I'm gonna hit this guy here.
Okay then.
You have a hammer?
I've got 2 hammers. I can only use one at a time, but it's nice to have 2.
Yeah, go to that'll be his kinetic armor class. Roll away. Don't forget you get +1 from.
I
Buddy.
do.
Yeah. Being the buff guy again, or the buffer.
Okay, where do I add that?
Well, you could just add it onto the roll. It does.
Yeah, I'll just roll it on then.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Even with a 10, we'll miss.
Oh no, sorry. No, that's is that. No, that's right. Sorry, yes. Ignore that. It's damage, wasn't it?
Yeah, 10
right.
will miss. Okay, Merc 3. So as Zaf moves towards this Merc, he sort of like swings his hammer at you in order to try to take you out to reduce the combat thing. He gets 23. Will probably hit you.
My dignity defit is only 13, I think.
Yeah, that's kinetic armor class that I'm going against. So you'll take 6 points of damage.
Do I get a reflex save on that or not?
No. And Mercenary 2 will be firing against you, Dave, with his laser pistol. He gets an 8 and misses. And then this person comes flying through. This flight lieutenant pursuit girl comes through, and he can't actually see you, Dave, because you're around. So she goes straight for Buddy, and tries to sink her teeth into your skin, and gets a 22 against your kinetic armor class.
My universal 12. Ouch.
Yeah, and you take 5 points of stamina damage.
So that brings me down to 0 with 3 remaining, so I take the 3 from my health.
Yeah, from your hit points. And could you also make for me, please, let me just check what it is.
Will save.
Fortitude, please. DC 12.
Oh dear.
Okay, so this woman sort of like comes up and grabs you and bites her teeth in, and she injects some kind of poison that enters your oily mechanisms, and all of a sudden you almost like feel everything going like that. You are going to be unable to move for the whole of next round. Okay, so you've got one round after this one without any movement. Okay, that's that, and we're back up to the top. So this is Merc 1. Merc 1's going to change its target and fight against you, Dave, because it's just seen Thimmy taking a...
Which one's Merc 1?
This one here.
All right, okay.
Yeah. This is his laser pistol coming at it. 17.
No, that's a miss.
Okay, cool.
It hits into the cover. It would have normally hit Dave that, but
okay, but because of the cover, yeah. Okay, Dave, you're up.
Okay, Dave's going to lean out with his laser rifle, and this time when he pulls the trigger of it, rather than the normal bolt that comes out, there's this big glowing red bolt that shoots out at Merc 1.
So he's supercharged his weapon?
Yes.
Yeah, okay then. So this is at Merc 1, yeah? So not the one in cover, the other one, yeah?
The one out of cover,
yeah. Cool, yeah, roll.
That would be a 13 because
against his energy. Yeah, his EAC is 10.
Okay.
So that hits.
Okay, so the normal thing does
1 point.
1 point of damage.
And then you have your supercharge on it.
Which does an additional 12.
Oh.
So you do 13 points of damage.
Yeah.
And
wow.
you sort of like, it almost like goes like that, and it shoots out and it hits him, and he sort of like stumbles back, and he's out of it.
Cool.
Okay, Buddy, you're up.
Error on the ground. Error,
yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Or standing error.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Zaf, you're up.
Okay, I will take another swing at this chappy here.
Mercenary 3, yeah.
Yep. Come on, hammer. There you are. Bad hammer.
8, 9 misses.
Good damage though.
I know.
Maximum damage.
Yeah,
Okay, so this guy, Zaf, replies to your hit with his hammer and gets 18.
Kinetic or
Kinetic.
Yeah, that's the most palpable hit.
7 points.
Ouch.
So I'm now down to physical.
And Mercenary 2 takes his hit at you, Dave, and gets a 19.
Oh, that just hits.
Okay, 4 points damage.
It's probably when you peeked out through the supercharged shot. You got a little skimmed your edge.
To
Stamina first.
okay, so that's reduced my stamina down to 0. It hasn't.
Okay, that's fine. You don't go unconscious until you hit negative hit points. So you're fine. But it's just harder. You can't heal hit points with resolve points, as far as I'm aware. Okay then, and this this woman here will move. Because she's bit you, hasn't she, Buddy?
Yeah, she's a metal biter.
Yeah, and she knows she stunned you. She's going to move round to you, Zaf. Dave, you don't have attack of opportunity because you don't actually know that she's there.
I do though, don't I?
Yeah, but you're. Why would you have an attack of opportunity?
Oh, right. Not because she moved through my square.
She's coming round the outside and then coming in to
no
attack. Yeah.
Yep.
So she arrives there and then she'll do her bite against 16 KAC.
Just.
Is that a hit?
That's the most.
3 points of damage and you need a fortitude save.
So 3 and fortitude.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That succeeds, so you're not paralyzed. Merc 1 is up next, and he's out of it, so I'm removing him. Dave, you're up.
Okay, Dave's going to once again come round, and he's going to blast off his laser rifle in the direction of this guy here, the one that he hit the first time. How long do I get the +1 for?
Till you still get it, because it's 2 buddies next round, which is the next one. So you get the +1 now. Still.
Wait, but my +1's only on the guy above me, right?
To hit.
Yeah.
Do you give +1 to everybody's attack bonus?
Yeah, but only to the person that I pointed at. So everybody gets a +1 against Hammer Boy, I believe is the one.
Oh, right. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. So I thought it was just to everybody's attack roll. No, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. So yeah. So you would have got. Did you add +1 onto that? No.
No. These are just normal ones. So that's a natural 20 against.
Yeah, it is a crit. So you do 3 point. You do 2 points of damage plus 3 from the burn. Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be.
Is that right? No, that can't be right, because it's. No, I don't know what it's done then, unless you get something extra for a crit.
Yeah, well, I thought you rolled double damage on a crit, but anyway, that's just me.
Right, hang on, let's have a look.
But I don't think it's taken anything.
This is critical effect 3 and a burn 1d6.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's worth this.
And does the burn go for a certain amount of time?
No, it's just like, it's nothing as complicated as that. It's just like you just do the damage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing super exciting like that. Surprise attack roll. Ranged attack, melee attack, a natural 1, an attack roll is always a miss, a natural 20 is always a hit, and a natural 20 is also a possible critical hit, which could deal more damage. See critical hits on 2, 5, 2, 4, 5. But critical hits, when you make an attack roll and get a natural 20, you hit regardless of the AC. If your total result of your attack meets or exceeds the AC, you've also scored a critical hit. You roll your damage twice, each time with your usual bonuses, and include any additional damage from your special abilities. You then add the rolls together. Some weapons inflict a special effect on a target on a critical hit, in addition to dealing double damage.
Okay, so you've taken 5 points of damage.
Yeah, it's done it for you, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, I still need to roll the 1d6.
Yeah, because it's roll the 2 damage, because that's 1d8 once, so that's 5 points, plus 1d6. Oh, nice.
And then another 6 points.
So that's 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's He had
had
4 left. He had 4 left.
Nice.
So that takes him out as well. Buddy, you're back in action.
System detox. I will point at the one with the hammer again and repeat in my aggressive tone, "Get 'em!"
Excellent.
I'll just post that again just so we all have that as evidence.
There we know. Yeah.
So that's my move action, and of course, as I say that, I raise my gun up and I try and protect friendship.
Is that 10 with everything? No, because you got a +4 to hit, haven't you?
Oh yeah, and I forgot to put my +1, so that would be a 15.
That would be a 15 against Mercenary 3.
And it's the energy armor.
Yeah, that hits. And that's 4 points of damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
My max is 4.
Yeah, nice.
Cheap little gun.
Zaf, what would you like to do? You've got 2 things in front of you.
Hello?
Might be muted.
You're actually muted in Zoom.
There we go, muted, sorry, yep. So I was reading Paizo. Okay, 2 next to me, so I want to
You get the +1 versus the guy with the hammer, though.
Yep, I will give him a whack then with a +1.
Okay, cool.
Yep. I was going to take a med patch, but I'll wait. I'll die gracefully. That one. No. 12 plus 13.
13. Yeah, that just hits. And that's 9 points of damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that takes that Merc out as well. So now he's out. He's out. So it's just this flight woman. So she takes another bite at Yuzaf.
Mm-hmm.
Can I provide a +2 bonus to his AC as my bodyguard reaction?
Yeah, by all means. So
Push him out.
+2.
Medic!
So you get +2 for the bodyguard action, which her attack was 10.
Oh, yes. Nowhere near, thank God.
Excellent. So she misses. Yeah. Okay, then. Dave, you up.
So there's nothing else in this direction where those other two were going.
Do you wish to spend time perusing? If you want to have a good look around there, then you're going to have to take your action to do a perception roll.
He's going to do that then. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, roll your perception then. And Buddy, you're up. You can't see anybody else through the trees. Do you wish to move, Dave?
No, he's going to remain in cover.
Okay, so you're remember you only cover from this area. Yeah, Buddy, you're up.
Aiming my gun just ever so slightly. I don't even bend my arm. I just swivel towards the woman, and I say in my war tone, "Get her!" Changing whatever bonus that is with my move action to her, and firing off with my pistol, which I'll remember to add the +1 this time.
Cool. So this is EAC, isn't it? Yeah.
Correct. My little laser pistol.
A 5 misses. Yeah. Zath, you up.
I shall go all hammer on her again.
Cool.
Like 4.
Don't forget your +1.
24 will hit for 6 points of damage.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So it's her turn again. So she tries to bite your heart out.
Oh dear.
I get a 20 with my roll.
That's
natural.
No.
Oh, right.
That's a chicken dinner.
Is that a chicken dinner? So 5 points of damage.
Okay.
Are you still up?
I'm still up.
And fortitude saving throw, please.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely need that.
Yeah, that's cool. You're absolutely fine.
Cool.
You're not paralyzed.
Cool. No, I'm good.
Dave, you're up.
Hearing the commotion, not seeing that way, Dave's going to turn round and seeing this person, and he's going to level his laser rifle at her.
Yeah, that supercharge is just for one shot, isn't it?
It's just for one, yeah.
Yeah, so this is just normal then. You do get +1 for Buddy's, whatever it's called. What's it called?
It's my improvisation. Get 'em.
Get 'em. Yeah, you get +1 for his bard ability, his get 'em ability.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it get her?
Get her, yeah. No, you could say get 'em, because that's probably a good pronoun for non-binary people.
That would
That's
be
fair.
15 against her energy.
Energy. Let's have a look. Her EAC is 11.
Right,
Nice.
so that's a hit for 8 points of damage.
8. Okay, she's still up. Buddybot.
maintaining my my ability with my move action and saying, "You cannot fight against us," and then shooting my laser pistol.
You know, you're really good with damage. You just have to.
You shot me.
I'm built for friendship, guys.
Yeah, you have one of those guns that has bang,
Yeah.
or fires flowers.
This is little cat
it's
thing
the-
you put in.
Yeah.
It scares off snakes, guys.
Excellent. Zath, you're up.
I'm going to withdraw. Now, if memory serves me, that does not incur a attack of opportunity. Does it?
Is that your is that a feat or a...
No, it's just standard skill, isn't it? Withdraw.
An action.
An action, sorry.
It's a full action, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're going to just remove yourself from combat, yeah?
I'm going to move myself, way over here. Just
Oh, no, you can't have a move as well, because
just going to withdraw it.
you're just out of range of her. Yeah. Okay, so the Zaf sort of like backs away from the thing, and this woman then sort of like dives at you, buddy,
Oh yeah.
and tries to bite you.
Universal 12 AC over here. I'm trying to part through this.
19,
That will bite through.
and you take 4 points of damage.
Ow. Let's see, what health am I at? I'm at 3 health now.
And
Feeling the burn.
fortitude saving throw. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like not resisting.
Hang on. Let's just roll 1d2. Yeah. So you are out for 1 round.
Error.
Is he just on his? He's still stood up.
Yeah. He's just paralyzed. He's just all like goes
Right.
like that. Dave, you're up. So you've seen there was combat here. Zaf sort of like quickly sort of like retreated out the way, and then the woman turned round and grabbed the friendly robot, Buddybot, and attacked her. I'm just going to move this merc out the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that now. Yeah.
Seeing that, Dave's going to just level his laser rifle at her and blast off a shot.
Cool. Go for it. Don't forget you'll get your +1. Oh wow.
You're good at hitting, but
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you got 19.
I know. I'm a bit gutted.
Yeah.
about
1 point of damage.
1 away.
it. The thing was,
But there's the one look.
there's just too many people close to it, and
Yeah, you don't want to hit somebody. Buddybot, you're out of it.
error.
Yeah. Zaf, what would you like to do?
I've got some distance here, so I'm going to try to. Oh God! I'm going to try to pull up my hunting rifle and fire if I can. I think pulling a weapon out is a simple action, isn't it?
Yeah. To
Ready a weapon, sorry,
Yeah.
simple action, and then fire it is.
no.
ready a weapon is draw or sheath a weapon is a move action.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I won't move then, so I'll do that and I'll fire a shot
Yeah. What's the range on it?
at 90.
No, I'm just thinking you're literally only 2 foot, 3 foot away from it. That was the only thing. Is it like when you say a hunting rifle? Is it like a sniper rifle?
No, well, it's just a standard like hunting rifle, like a Winchester type rifle.
Oh right, it's just like a normal
I'm assuming that's what it's like. It's yeah.
Let me just.
There's not a huge description in the in the book. Just an old mechanical.
I've never been hunting before.
I'm pleased to hear it. Is it like it's not a small arms, isn't it? It's
A basic rifle used mainly for personal defence and hunting. More advanced rifles have military uses. Sorry.
Wait, which one is it? Oh, it's just a hunting rifle. Yeah,
It's just literally a hunting rifle.
yeah, a level 1 hunting rifle. Yeah. Okay, yeah, go for it.
That's all you let me be allowed to buy.
Find it interesting that there's levels to the items you can buy.
Yeah, I really like that. I think it's cool.
Do I still have a +1 or not?
Yes, you do. Yeah,
Oh, okay, that's 13 then.
and that's against what?
The lady. Was it
No.
her stunning, isn't it?
Kinetic.
Kinetic.
Oh, sorry. Is it kinetic? Right.
Yeah. So with that +1, that just hits.
Oh.
Just. Which actually then takes her down, and she dies on the floor.
Forearms. Yeah.
No,
Error.
yeah. So that's she is dead. Yeah. What do you wish to do, guys?
Interrogator.
There we go. Were we supposed to kill her?
Detox complete.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. You come back round. You took a lot
Excellent.
of hits. You took a lot of hits there, buddy.
To be
I am
quite-
feeling pretty beat up. I would
Yeah.
like to use a med patch on myself,
Yeah. Cool.
and then move on to use a second one on my friend.
I'm good. I've got my own med patch. I'll use that. Thank you.
How much does it heal a med patch?
Do you know, I was trying to find this out.
Yeah, I looked at it earlier and I was like, this is something I need in my
It
backpack.
allows you to make, if you don't have the medical skill,
Which
Oh,
I
I
do.
have medical.
it allows you to make
With a +10.
A med pack is a simple all-in-one disposable medical device designed to be slapped onto a wound or area of concern, such as blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
A med pack can attempt a medical check untrained with a +10 circumstance bonus, but only for the first aid, long-term stability, treat disease, and treat drug or poison.
Okay then.
And 1 second, what I was reading from Paizo was you heal their HD plus your int bonus with treat deadly wounds. At first level, you can heal up to 5 hit points, which is slightly above the average results for an MK, a Mark 1, sorry, healing serum. D8 the average. Yeah.
So I don't know whereabouts is that in the rules? Are you reading?
No, this is Paizo who made the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made Pathfinder too, I think.
Yeah, he did indeed.
Yeah. So okay.
He
So
posted that for you.
so who let's do Zath. Let's do you, buddy, first because you'll go on yours. So you need to roll a medicine check, a DC 15. You can't take a 20 on it.
Did it say it also I get a plus
Plus
10?
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, now this is discussion is do you get a plus 10 if you're trained in it?
Yeah,
I think you should.
that is kind of my question because I'm trained as well. I was curious if
That's exactly why I looked at it. And it says there's a discussion out there saying you do and you don't. It's like, yeah, well, I think you should do.
Thank you for your input. Do you want to roll your dice roll, buddy?
okay, I was just trying to confirm
Yeah.
whether I should have the plus 10 or not on there.
Well, I would just roll it to start off with because you got a DC of 15 to start off with. So then
Almost
I can,
there.
Then I can decide what. So
That's
what
fair.
if you succeeded and become stable and bleeding stops? Okay, so that will then stabilize your hit points reduction. Are you in hit points?
Yeah, I have 3 out of 10 hit points left.
Yeah. Okay then. So you are now stabilized, which means that you won't lose any more hit points. Okay. So that's absolutely fine. So you got a stabilize hit point loss before you could do anything else to it. So that's your action. Right, Zaf, what are you doing?
So excuse me, exactly the same, please.
Okay. So roll you're trained in medicine, yeah?
I am. Yep.
Yeah, so you can apply it. So you are now. We'll say that you are now stabilized as well. Okay. What do you wish? What do you wish to do? Or
Dave's
you
going to go up to this to one of these people that he's just shot, and he's going to pick up his weapon that he dropped. He's going to eject the power cell battery from it.
Yeah.
And he's going to put it against his battery that's in his laser rifle. And again, you see the sort of like the green glyphs appear and a whole load of sort of like green mist swirling round. And he's going to transfer the charges.
Yeah, that's absolutely
from,
fine. So 2 points.
That battery onto his. So he's going to transfer. Let me see how many charges. He's going to transfer 5 charges from that laser pistol's battery, if there is 5 charges left in it.
Cool.
Into his.
Yeah.
And then he's just going to drop the battery back on the floor.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, what's anybody else doing? Buddy and Zaf, what are you doing?
I'm going to blow on my wounds and go, no. I'm going to examine this woman in front of me, please, and just see if she's got anything on her.
She just seems to have a flight suit, and she looks quite the flight suit seems to have some kind of alteration on it. If you give me either physical science or engineering roll, if you're are you
I have a tick in engineering, but it's a -1. Interesting.
Are you trained in it?
Well, I've not trained it, but it's got a tick in it. No, it's not
a class skill then.
It's a class skill, yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay then. So yeah, this looks something strange about a flight suit, but you're not too sure what it is. Buddy, do you have engineering or physical science?
I do not.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Apart from that, she does see she dropped the skulls over here.
I turn to Zatharius. Skulls often symbolize death in many cultures.
I do believe you're right there, buddy. So shall we take a look?
Yeah, you figured the
turn around and go, these are dead.
You figured the skulls are probably left over from the mulching bodies. You know that, Buddy, you knew that they were mulching dead bodies here to grow the plants. So you figure those the skulls that she dropped were probably from that. They just seem to be too humanoid. If you've got a life science roll or a medicine roll, Buddy, I'll let you.
Oh, I do have medicine.
Sorry. Oh, I clicked it. Sorry.
Yes, Buddy. Zaf, you don't know, but Buddy, yeah, they look like 2 humanoids, human skulls. Yeah.
Didn't she say when she went to the pawnbroker she was wanting a fresh skeleton or a clean skeleton?
That is correct. We ought to tell our superiors about this.
Yes.
Deliver the body.
Maybe she was building her own.
Going to go over and say, does she have anything?
A flight suit.
Did you search her?
I did not. That is not my job, Dave.
Dave's going to have a look at her.
Yeah, she's wearing a flight suit.
Are there any pockets in it?
I think, Zaf, did you search the body?
I searched the body.
Yeah.
Oh, could have told me.
Well, I'll have a quick look just in case I missed something, because you never know. We're not all fallible, you know. A lot of us are infallible. Whatever it is.
Do you have an engineer?
I do.
Yeah, well, you can roll that for me.
30.
Oh, nice.
Natural 20.
Pretty cool.
Plus 10. Yeah, you can tell straight away that there seems to be some kind of lining inside this flight suit. And you suddenly realise that it's probably some kind of masking agent. That actually, when it's all zipped up and maybe a helmet or something on as well, it probably hides her undeadness.
Gross. To the body, not. Yeah.
Do you think she might be from the ship?
It is possible. She plays some part in this mystery. We must take her to our superiors.
Just out of interest, how many skulls are on the floor?
2.
Ah, just 2. Not 7.
No.
There's no name badge on this flight suit or anything like that.
No, not at all.
Is there a space where like a badge could have been?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, her name's not on it, but there is. No, I'm going to say no.
Oh, go on.
No.
Right. Okay.
So if I took out an insignia and put it near her flight suit, it doesn't look like there's any spot where it could.
No, not at all. It looks like it's almost like unmarked.
Gotcha. Sorry, medevac.
That's all right. Would the Shadowrun answer with a comm unit taking a photo?
What do you wish to do, guys?
I once tried to take an image of a face, and I don't know.
You want to take an image of her face, did you say?
No, ignore that. Ignore. Sorry.
Okay.
How long do you think she's been dead?
I don't know. Well, she wasn't dead when she was biting us or attacking us. So, can I do a quick medical and see if I can see how long she has been dead for, if she's at all dead?
Yeah, by all means.
Wouldn't that measure mostly the amount of decomposition between when she died and when she became undead?
She died like a few minutes ago when you shot her, or bashed her with the rifle. but good roll.
Even with a critical.
Good roll. Well, you actually know to the number of seconds. Actually.
Ah.
So her body is gray, but it's not obviously like decomposing in a lot of spots or anything.
Apparently not.
Okay, that probably is pretty darn correct.
Most interesting. Has anybody else heard of anything like this before?
Has Dave ever heard of anything?
You've all heard of undead. That's common knowledge. Yeah.
But she wasn't dead.
What do you wish to do, guys?
Buddy is still looking at everybody expectantly since he's repeated a couple times that he thinks we should take this body and go.
Well, let's have a look at these other chaps rather than focusing on this woman for a second. Who are these other chaps over here?
They just seem like hired thugs.
Local muscle.
Yeah, local muscle would seem an appropriate word for them, buddy.
This was the lady who sold the insignias to our friend, the Vesk. She is a clue.
She's a very most palpable clue.
Why were they all digging?
Maybe trying to find more skulls, perhaps. That's my theory so far.
I'm going to go and search these guys just to make sure that they got nothing on them.
Yeah, no, none of the mercenaries have anything on them of worth apart from they all have assault hammers either on their body or near their body. They have level 1 azimuth laser pistols, and it's while you're doing that you suddenly notice up at the top here, you see 1 or 2 Yosokis appear and sort of like look down, and they sort of like start saying, "Yay! You saved us! You saved our vat garden! We're eternally grateful!" And they look at the bodies and say, "Leave them. We'll deal with those. Don't worry."
Can you please pray tell what happened? Why were these people here? Do you know?
Yeah, roll your diplomacy.
I don't have a diploma. I can roll it anyway. But Oh.
Yeah, exactly. They sort of like say, just leave the bodies, we'll be fine. We'll deal with them. We'll get some stewards to come down and help us. Thank you so much.
Are you concerned about retaliation from more of these individuals?
There was only those 4. These you think, Buddy, you think these Yosoki are the proprietors of the Vat Garden, and logic would dictate that they probably were chased away just before you arrived, maybe, and obviously they've heard the gunfire and come back to investigate and seen that you have actually saved them. So they start to climb down the ladder and sort of like come up to everybody and shake your hands, and then just sort of like start undressing and the mercs, taking off their armor and gear and making sort of like small tidy piles of it. And you're not too sure. You're not too sorry.
Reward.
Say again, sorry.
Dave's going to ask whether or not there's a credit reward for saving the.
No, we're far too poor. And you're sure that you hear one of them say something like, "Oh, this will make great fertilizer. These are nice and healthy."
Excuse me, but can we have the flight suit from the woman?
And the weapons from the other people, please.
I'm afraid that they're on our property.
We would need some payment for our services.
Payment? Aren't you from the Starfinder Society?
We need the flight suit for our Starfinders. We do not need the firearms. We are fine without them. I gesture at my group members.
That's very true.
We need the flight suit, though. It is part of official Starfinder business.
Well, I've never heard of anybody asking for payment from the Starfinders on this station, but it sounds a bit strange. But since you're a nice person, Mr. Android person, we'll give you the flight suit. And they sort of like strip it off the woman and sort of like fling it at you, buddy. Just roll your athletics check. Sorry, roll a dex roll. A dex save.
Okay, that works too.
Yeah.
Dex save. Bam.
Yeah, and it comes straight for your face, and you actually manage to capture it rather than it just going round your face. And the little Yosoki says, "Don't worry, we'll tell them all about you. Don't worry." And you notice that one of them is sort of like tapping something into her comm and link on her wrist already, and you can see that there's an outgoing call going in.
I suppose we better go back and, unless we can find out which ship she came in on, I suppose we could do that.
I was going to say we have the insignias and we have a uniform of this person. We need to track down where she came from, what ship she came from. You're right. So let's get to the top and find out.
You're right. Just be careful because there's a dodgy ladder.
Oh!
Okay, now would probably be a good time to check in with Captain Arvin and inform him of your progress. And he invites you back to the Law Spire to hear what's going on. And there's a bit of a wait for him, and then he eventually, like about an hour and a half, and he eventually, his secretary eventually calls you in and says, he says, "Come in." And the first thing he sort of like says, he says, do you have the insignias?
I'll pass him the box, which is kind of bent since I was holding it with my non-laser hand when I was getting paralyzed. So I presume I kind of clenched it and bent part of the. Pass it to him. And
he sort of like opens it, and he opens it up and checks them all and turns them around. He says, "Thank you." He says, "That's a job well done, gentlemen." And he pulls out a desk drawer and pops it in and closes it. And before he closes it, he takes something else out of it. And it seems to be a data pad. And it seems to have soil and plant matter on it. and he sort of like takes it out gingerly with his hands and said, the Yosoki proprietors of that garden found this inside near the in their plantation, next to a huge pile of skulls deep within the canopy. Rather interesting what we found on here. It would appear that our friend, we will call her for the sake of argument, we'll call her
Scabby Butchers.
Exigara. Exigara seemed to be a recruit of the Corpse Fleet. And she was travelling on a vessel called the Endless Thorodody. And it would appear that they answered a distress call from the Starfinder ship. And however, when they got to the crash site on a deserted planet, they acquired several treasures, including the insignias. But before they could actually get back into the drift, it was surprised and crippled by a pirate ship identified as the Law Blight. Unfortunately, the ship, the Corpse Fleet, was floating in the drift, unable to leave. And so the young woman, or undead, was dispatched to acquire repair materials. Yes, as you might gather, the Corpse Fleet ship runs on corpses, and hence what the woman was trying to do, digging up some unearthly creatures. Anyway, I have rewarded the Yosoki of the Vat Garden for their help in retrieving this information. And they passed on their thanks to you people, and so well done. I am pleased that you went forth and actually managed to save them. Please remember, gentlemen, and Yosoki, that we tend not to ask for money when helping the poor and unrewarded people of this planet. However, the Yosoki have provided us with something for you, for your kind and wonderful, compassionate and deadly aim. Here, and he holds out to you 2 small plant bulbs each, and says, well done, enjoy your plant bulbs, and we hope to have another adventure for you soon.
Dave just looks at these plant bulbs, shakes his head, and then heads out. And
he dismisses you for the end of the adventure.
I'll take a plant bulb in the hope it's a rhododendron.
And that's it. Just to let you know, if you chew at the bulb, it acts as a dose of a tier 1 antitoxin. And so you can, they actually do have some use. The only thing that you're a bit concerned about is that they probably came from the Vat Garden, which means the fertilizer that's been used from them, you are not too sure what they are.
Dave's left his.
Cool. Okay, that's it, guys. Your first Starfinder adventure has come to an end. Yeah, the data pad was still in the canopy where she was digging up bones. She dropped it there and then ran out carrying the 2 skulls, and then dropped it as it came out. So a search roundabout would have revealed it going off into the canopy, or underneath the canopy would have found it.
That was the android's job.
So guys, what's your thoughts and opinions about Starfinder then?
It's delightful.
It's definitely the thing is, at such a low level, it's an instant death if you get it wrong. But yes, it's
a bit like Mythras.
It is. Yeah,
but Pathfinder is exactly the same. At low level, it's like you can be mobbed by goblins in no time. But Yeah, but it's really, really good that way because it makes you think on your toes.
I don't think I would want to play a high level adventure.
No.
Because it's how did you feel your characters, your classes worked out?
I mean, I was pretty pleased with Dave. I got some technomancy things in.
Yeah, your technomancy seems to be you have that spell, don't you, with his overcharge, which I think is a very is that once a day?
No, it's that's a first level spell. So with his intelligence modifier, he can cast 3 first level spells, and his 0 level spells he can cast as many times as he wants.
Oh, was that his transfer charge and mending?
Transfer charge, yeah. But the way that I wanted really to play Dave was that he really used his, because you can have it both ways. You can have technology helping with the magic and the magic helping with technology. But I wanted him to be very much
techy.
Can I say one thing? In Wills, did you actually want Mr. Pickles to say, or Chugwugger to say to Mr. Pickles, open the door, and Mr. Pickles say, I can't do that, Dave.
I don't.
No, you don't get that reference, do you?
No.
I haven't seen Space Odyssey.
Oh!
So, Mr. Pickles, what did you think about Buddybot? How did you think he played?
I love playing an android. It's kind of silly, but that was a lot of fun, and I like especially that early bar scene with how you handled androids, because I think with androids and robots as characters, it really depends on the DM on how things play out, and I really like how you played that out. That's exactly kind of how I wanted to play an android, having like the alcohol just synthesize, because
there's no set rules about it, and so they can be quite, but at the same thing, I didn't want him to be immune to something like paralysis from the ghoul. It's all like, oh no, I'm metal, that can't help. So I was trying to sort of like fit it in as many different ways, but it's interesting because the envoy almost like seems to be like a bard to me. Which is really good. But it's interesting that you're that supportive character, aren't you? But also the face.
I really do like playing buffing characters, and I didn't want to play like a healer or a priest, even though I ended up getting medicine. I really like the envoy. I was a little confused on all the improvisations initially, but when I saw that one, I was like, this is what I'll probably be using.
And I think it's something that you get one, and then you learn to use it. Then when you get to the next one, you choose enough one to use it, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
What about Zath? Because you were created to be like the tank.
Yes.
I saw you make a tactical withdrawal and leave poor Buddy.
I know. Well, I had 1 hit point left, and I was like, oh, bye.
So you're a self-preservation tank.
My theory was to pull back and then shoot him a rifle, which worked out rather well.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting character. I would have thought with the 4 arms, I would like to think at later levels you would then get more attacks.
No, it states the first thing it states very clearly, because if not, then everybody would be one, because it would be ultra powerful. It'd be so powerful. It would be unbelievable.
That's right. But then again, there must be a certain way to get other attacks anyway, or more attacks in one round. For example, in Pathfinder, you can have multiple attacks.
There is as you go,
monk, for example.
Things.
Yeah, different.
So for your melee weapons, I mean, as you go up through the ranks of your sort of like your feats, you can eventually looking out laser weapons, etc. I'm very surprised about the how hard it was to. I mean, I suppose Dave's got a high dexterity, so his EAC was 14, but with that extra 4 in for cover, that was like an EAC of 18 to be able to hit him, which is
Yeah, and that was it. Because Zaf, are you in heavy armor?
I'm in heavy armor. My KAC is 15. My EAC is 13.
And Dave, you're in light armor, aren't you?
Yeah, but it's my Dex modifier
Yeah.
that gives me the.
Yeah, my Dex is 1. You see.
Yeah, and even if you wore heavy armor, Dave, I think your Dex would be altered, wouldn't it? Because it has a maximum some heavy armor has a maximum damage, maximum Dex mod that you can actually attach to it. So I think to me, as a DM, there is no difference between this game and any other game I DM, apart from the setting. And to me, that I was just thinking at the break, Chuck and I were talking about it in the sense that could have actually been a Shadowrun game or a Mythras game.
Yeah.
And it's just the rule set that's different. Really.
To be fair, that's only the role-playing game, though, isn't it? You can have any story in any setting.
Yeah. The thing that I don't like, to be honest with you, what I missed the in-depthness of Mithras's combat. It went very quick. The combat went.
I must admit, because I was just sat there, just firing. There was no tactics.
No, well, Mythras is like a game of chess, isn't it? You've
Yeah.
got to think every move you make. You've got to think of what you're doing. So, whereas this is, you're able to move and fire, or do actions and fire. So there's that safety blanket.
Yeah, and the other thing I felt about this one is that you can quite easily rack up bonuses.
Yeah.
You can quite easily just sort of like say, I've got +1 from this, I've got +3 from that, I've got +6 from that.
Yep.
I
literally had a buff bot.
Yeah, and which I think it reminds me very much of D&D 5th edition in that it's very much sort of like and then the other thing that I felt was that it's just sort of like, I mean, their armor classes were sort of like 10 and 12 or something like that. I must admit, I had some fantastic rolls.
I know.
As always.
Really. I mean, I don't think. I mean, I had a 19, a 20. I did have 10 and 12.
I don't think I've ever had as good of rolls ever in any game.
No, your rolls were fantastic. But I can
3 natural 20s. That's brilliant.
I can see. I think the other thing is there's a lot less opportunity to not hit because you can have so many bonuses. And I think that's why it says on a 1 you automatically miss. It doesn't matter, because I can see eventually people getting hit points and stuff like, say, so many. Plus the different armor types, stamina versus hit points, all very tactically interested. Yeah, there is, that's right, Tex. There's also starship combat as well. But yeah, the other thing that what I couldn't see is the difference between a soldier and a technomancer.
Nil point, no, nothing. At this level, because don't forget, level 1, you are all just starting out. Technomancer has the spell ability, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean in combat. Because I would have thought, I mean, Buddybot, sorry, Mr. Pickles, you weren't the best combat person.
Oh, well, I wasn't built to be.
You saved my life.
Yeah, but it seemed that the Technomancer was taking out more people than the soldier.
I think it was.
Then again, that's my choice of weapons, because I chose a hammer rather than a weapon, because that's the way that race is. It's more melee than ranged.
Is it? I didn't read that.
Yeah, it's melee combat is honourable, whereas ranged is just
Even though you withdrew and then shot it in the head with a rifle.
It's a fallback weapon, hammer. Oh, jump back, bang.
Yeah, because you actually get a huge boost to your strength, don't you? You get +2 to your strength.
Yep. +4, I think, is my strength, isn't it?
I think it was. I think it was
plus
down
4 to my strength.
the
Yeah,
downside.
just your racer's gives plus 2.
Oh, sorry, yes, yeah, my race is a plus 2.
Yeah.
I think I would like criticals to do a bit more, especially when it's doing burn damage.
Well,
I would have liked it to burn for sort of like X amount of rounds or something.
I thought the critical would be the same as Pathfinder, where it lets you roll double damage.
Well, it did.
It did.
Oh, I did. Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention.
No, you Medivac, you missed half the adventure.
Clearly, I was eating cake. Sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, you must get what was your theme?
Who's?
Medivacs.
My theme was song and dance. No, my theme was rapid response.
No, your theme.
No, my feet.
Theme.
Blitz. Sorry.
No, theme.
It's like.
Were you ace pilot, bounty hunter?
Oh, sorry, mercenary. Sorry,
yeah, so you had +1 for your strength for Merc, and then +2 for your race.
Race, yeah.
Yeah, so you must.
So it's 7 in total of my +7. Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, interesting. Comes down to rolls. Yeah, it does. Oh, that what Tex is saying. I think that is very true. I think you would get to the point that I think, Buddy, you being an envoy, your key attribute is charisma, isn't it?
Correct, and I picked the worst race for that.
Yeah, but being an android, you actually lose charisma. You know. Which I think is really interesting. And you do get a negative, don't you, for you have flat effect.
Yeah.
They take
but
a -2.
Yeah. Icon. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I can see it's a bit like in D&D 5th edition. I can see people putting together certain groups, certain races, certain themes to make a best fit.
But where's the fun in that? I mean, doing an android as an envoy with rubbish charisma is brilliant because it's more.
Well, I don't think it's brilliant or not brilliant. What I think it is just how people make up their characters. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, there's the meta builds.
Yeah, and
always build the best for the best. You know.
Yeah, and you know, Vesks, like Tech said, Vesk are common tanks because they have the best stats for it. You know, and that's why. You sort of like get that to see. I really like the human that in their race it says +2 to any one ability, and I think that's really nice that humans can decide what they are. And what I'm surprised is why hasn't that been done across everybody?
It's racist.
So you could have an android. Could you have an android that actually gets +2 to charisma because of the way it articulates itself and convincing? Yeah,
because it'd be a diplomacy droid.
Yeah, but yeah,
wouldn't I be like, and I think this would apply to intelligence too for an android. I can only be as good as whoever created me.
Correct. Yeah,
I can't be more charismatic than anybody else, and I feel that -2 is evident of that.
I can see where the -2 comes from because it's the whole how would a human react to an android talking to it. That's the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if I'm programmed well, it's going to be that little divide.
And there's always going to be that little bit of, you're just a robot.
Yeah, but there you could say counterpoint to that. What about androids reacting for androids?
Yes.
You know, and things like that.
More of a racial negative.
I mean, Tex is just saying that Paizo is known for creating systems with a min-max type. You know, and I think that's the majority of games. Androids are often the envoy class, which is interesting since they do have that.
Really?
That's me, a Paizo.
I do have a bonus against being a sense motive against me because my flat effect gives me a penalty, but I also have a bonus.
Yeah, that's it. You get a -2 for again for them, but they get you get a +2 to resist them because you don't give anything away.
Hard to read.
Yeah, hard to read. Yeah. So I quite like the the environment of it, the sort of like the background. I quite like that. What I think is really hard to come across is, and Dave Chuggerwugger, you were talking about it, is I can see a lot of your Sokis being very similar, and being very similar in their yeah, good luck reading a robot face. And this sort of like sense that how people role play them. I mean, not at our level, but at I can see a lot of your Sokis being mice, and so forth and so on.
Well, that's what I thought when I was making up Dave, and I thought, well, so I used a whole load of my my credits to actually buy a vocal modulator for him.
Yeah,
which is why he sounds like he sounds.
Very good.
He sounds like a normal Zoki, really. But
yeah,
has his voice modulator because he doesn't want to sound like them.
Yeah.
He wants to be different.
It's broken away from the pack as such.
Yeah, because I think it's very interesting with the races, because I mean there's quite a good description about every race and how they react and how they sort of like do it, but then you get the reverse side of it, is that as a DM, if I see somebody not reacting like that, the player can just say to me, yeah, but I'm not a normal one. And I think, no, I'm not talking about voices, I'm talking about general interaction, and I think that almost like maybe takes away from the race, because really the race should provide something that makes you very obvious. It's a bit like Buddy we knew was an android because of the way he spoke. And I think that's key, that people, I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think it's really interesting that you should be able to tell what the characters like, and maybe even their race from that. So I think it's an interesting, thank you for the bits, Chuggerwugger, thank you. I think it's an interesting game. I think I get the feeling that the rules could quite easily be exploited after a while. And and I don't know whether or not that is just my being cynical. It does remind me of playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e. It's a very fluid game. It's a very easy game. And for example, for me on a roll, combat is very sort of like quick and miss, hit, damage, that's it, end. Although the damage is quite hefty as well, I thought.
Oh, so. God, yes.
Yeah, so...
I mean, I put points into my reflex and I never used it once.
No.
So frustrating. Why?
So
my reflex I was expected to dive out the way of things, and it's not. No.
So, right, guys. So, just to finish off, does anybody have any news or announcements that they would like to make?
I'm streaming the wonderful thing is State of... oh my God, State of Decay 2.
Ooh.
When are you streaming that, Medivac?
Oh, I don't know. Probably tomorrow at some point. So I'm off on Monday as well, so probably all day Monday.
Oh, well, there we go then.
There we go. And Battletech as usual.
Okay, and I think there's Traveller next Thursday, Mr. Pickles?
Oh, yep. There should be Traveller next Thursday on Wrath Inspired's channel at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. I keep saying PST, and then I hear you guys say BST. I feel like that might be easy to confuse.
Oh,
Pacific
yeah.
Standard Time.
Apparently, it comes out fully on Tuesday. Text says. Medivac? Is your game?
It does indeed, but I got the ultimate version, and I've had it for 2 days. 2 days.
Ooh.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, so Chuggerwugger, anything that you would like to say? No. Excellent. So I would like to say thank you very much to my players. Thank you for coming along. I hope you enjoyed you getting your toes wet within the world of Shadowrun. I'd like to say thank you guys for coming along and watching as well, and for all your support of the stream, either in chat, via bits or follows or just hanging around and lurking and keeping the chat going. Thank you very much for those. I will be streaming again tomorrow at 3 o'clock BST time with some more Templar ESO stream, hopefully getting ready to hopefully get that 50th level, which I'm aiming for, so really looking forward to that. Until then, I would like to say to each and every one of you, please remember to be who you are and say what you feel, because the people who mind don't matter and the people who matter don't mind. Have fun, and I will catch you all later. And until then, I'd like to say to each and every one of you, consider yourself well and truly waffled. Have fun, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.